Okay, are we actually going?
Yeah, no, we've been recording.
Awesome. Hello, everybody! And welcome back to the second episode of the Stories of Caelehbrios, because I guess we're calling it this until we move off the continent!
Yeah. Dylan, otherwise known as Stigs, is not here. He'll be joining us later.
Yeah, Stigs is currently
swimming.
He's at a swim meet.
No, he's not at a swim meet.
No,
he's at,
not
they
yet.
have
Dylan's getting
mandatory
wet.
meeting.
They have a
wet.
study thing where they have to go 4 of the 5 days of the week, and he didn't know that yesterday or Sunday counted as a day that he had to be there. He didn't know it started then, so he has to go the rest of this week. So every night he's gone from like 6 to 8:30.
Why is he a swim team boy?
He's on the swim team, yeah.
He's a team player. Alright, so, if everyone is all set and doesn't have any...
Hey, boss!
Yes!
You want to do a recap of where we were?
That would be really smart. Thank you. Roman, take it away.
The recap?
Yes, please.
Yeah, 1930s announcer voice over Lord of the Rings music. Go. Or don't. Just turn off the Lord of the Rings
Do you
music.
even remember what happened last time?
Mostly. Okay.
I can do it if you don't.
Last time on our journey, we made our way to Krakone Hold. Stigs decided to wander off and get himself a Rottweiler.
Yeah.
And 2 others decided to go to a bar.
Elanor and Leshanna.
Leshanna, not Leshanna.
While Drendok and Jack decided to go to the home of Uthrog, otherwise known as the crotchety old orc blacksmith. He's not really old. He punches hard.
Nor is he crotchety. And his sidekick, bitch.
Yes, his sidekick bitch. Who got forget? I used to be a sidekick. Oh, furthermore,
You were
Yeah, but you were his sidekick douche canoe.
furthermore, we went to the execution of Mr. Evil Guy.exe,
Messias the Deceiver.
Yes.
where on a balcony stood
Elder
a
Drake.
beautiful woman and a king. And as the king lowered his arm for the execution, a big pillar of flame came out of nowhere. Shit's cray, yo.
He killed like 40 people who weren't supposed to be executed.
Incinerated like all of the front row and some of the rows behind it, except for luckily our heroes, Drendok and Jack.
Not
Although
really
Jack
heroes.
was left barren and nude, covered in molten
No, he
metal.
wasn't.
That
He
was
was,
you.
actually.
No,
That was you.
Oh yes, that was Drendok. Shit!
Can we save the bickering for after the intro, please? Thank you.
Well, we also have Elanor finally being open to open that fucking letter.
I was literally magically compelled to not do
The
that.
one who says save the bickering until after the intro was not bickering.
This is different than bickering. This is me justifying being a spy.
That is bickering.
Alright.
So after the pillar of light had subsided, both Elanor and Leshanna decided to go back to the bar. Leshanna being blinded.
By the light.
While Elanor walked up to the man who gave him the letter, and wanted to
Give him what for?
ask if these orders were as she understood. Jack and Drendok just kind of fucked around, I don't know. I mean, they fucked around less than Stigs did, but
True.
nonetheless, they fucked around.
Handling each other.
Many things have changed since the last game, as in I've had a week to actually flesh out the world.
The retcon is strong with this one.
Yes.
But don't worry, Drendok is still naked.
Drendok is definitely still naked, but you got clothes.
I do have clothes.
We're
My
all
own
on
blacksmith apron, actually.
We're all on the way to the thing.
You have a blacksmith apron
Yeah.
and an evident hammer.
So
Also,
Wink.
I'm gonna go over a few things that did change, just so that way.
Incoming retcon.
Yes.
Incoming retcon. Incoming retcon. Exposition. Oh my god.
Because this was meant to be a one-shot, it was meant to be played in about 8 hours or less. Now I actually have time to flesh out the world and give the world life. So,
shut up, bitch, I know it.
also, yeah, pretty much. The entire thing is destroyed. the orders that were given to Elanor were changed because they weren't necessarily understood and were not sensible and given correctly as I had intended.
Written right.
So the orders that are now currently understood are the Dwarf King's fucking around, find out what's up, and then if necessary, kidnap or execute him.
Lead lines.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a magic foot.
Yes.
Also, can I do that investigation one?
Yes, you can.
Now that I'm on recording.
The investigation roll for the stuff that we did beforehand, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm still blind, right?
Yes.
You will be blind until we get up to the gates.
Well, while I'm blind, I'm really fast.
Alright.
Yes.
Plus whatever the +1.
Oh, damn it. It's not much better.
I know.
Can I burn an inspiration to see if it's like even like if it breaks 15, it's probably better than if it doesn't.
You can't use an inspiration on your own character until level 15.
I did that last round, like last game.
No, because you rolled a natural 1.
No, I definitely burned inspiration on one of my own rolls.
No.
Wasn't it to help?
Then what would I have spent it on?
Wasn't it help Leshanna's?
Oh, yes, her perception check.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's still like that's at 13. Shit.
I mean,
I just don't books well.
What is language?
I work for the library spies, and I can't use books.
I work for
Yeah.
the library.
The way that it's I guess the stuff that you would know is, yes, you understand about the Eladrin. You understand that they do live in the city of Elios Dan, near Greyfond. You know that they've been there pretty much since whenever. They don't really have a timeline of when they showed up. They were pretty much there since the beginning.
When was the beginning?
When it was not the end. The only other thing I would say no is that
But couldn't that also be the middle?
they tend to be secluded to themselves, and seeing one in public
They're elves.
is a rare occurrence. Yes, the other thing that I changed in this world that I can actually flesh out now, there are only 2 types of elves in this world. There are Drow, and there are pure elves, which are the Eladrin. The Eladrin came directly from the Fey Wild, and then I gave them my own little backstory according to the world that they're in.
There are also half-elves, but they don't count.
Yeah, half-elves are
Also,
just kind of
half
like there.
orcs.
Half-elves are just kind of there.
Shut up, this isn't about you, Stigs.
The other races of elves
Well,
went
that's
extinct, like wood elves, high elves, along with whatever the fucking other one. There weren't any other ones. Well, I mean,
Whatever
other
the
elves.
fuck.
Whatever other races of elves there were. So, maybe when Aymee gets back, we'll start.
She said that she
I know.
was going to be...
Alright, so I know that the Eladrin exist, that they keep to themselves, and that they dispatch a very small number of people have ever been recorded leaving their holds to interact with the mortal world outside.
Yes, I'd say the only number of people that have been recorded in the history books are between 2 and 4. And it's been roughly about 1,000 years since that point.
So like, also there are some very ancient customs that are supposed to go around, but people apparently aren't observing them presently because it's been so long that no one remembers.
Yes. So seeing the Eladrin, the elf that was on top of that was standing with the Chieftain, was one of these Eladrin. So seeing one of these in person is like, oh shit, the fuck you doing here, kiddo? So
Kiddo?
yeah.
Like literally immortal being.
And then
What are you doing here, kid?
And then there's me, who, like a man who knows nothing and is naked, knows nothing and is naked.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's some
So-
method acting right there.
Yeah. So now that Aymee is back,
Uh,
is there anything else that you guys would like to go over before you
I don't suppose I get
arrive at the
like
gates?
a chance to try and continue to
But we
leverage
have
the
40
library for
points.
additional information for another hour or so, because she's still clearly not unblind yet.
The invitation that you received,
Oh, it's
Had
time
we-
specific.
yes, was time specific.
do I remember my time in the pit?
You always remember your time in the pit.
How could I forget? Where's the pit now?
It's in a hole.
I mean, the pit that you were from was in Greyfall.
Nice.
So, because remember, we switched
Maybe I
it
should
around.
visit the Kraken.
You can visit the Kraken pit.
It might be even more red.
Yeah, but like if you don't show up on time, you don't get paid.
I never got paid.
You're going to get paid presently, like right now. Actually, you got an
You're-
invitation at the end of
you're
last
walking-
session to get paid.
Oh, I'm still going there. I'm just
Oh.
thinking of other things.
I would say currently clerics and people would have come over and healed you guys.
I've got like no knowledge, no ability, no knowledge history, no knowledge arcana. I am
James.
so out of my depth here. It's
I got
not
no
even funny.
knowledge.
Fuck you. I have the ability to lie, to tell when people are lying, to be able to convince people that I'm not lying, to perform things, to demonstrate that I'm clearly not sneaking a knife into my boot. I'm playing a fucking guitar. What are you talking about? And I can hide. I can hide good.
I can perform an act that gets me free stay and free food at an inn.
I can
Is it
kill
called
things.
sex?
No.
It could be any sort of performance that he decides would be performance-y.
Is it
Storytelling.
Is a murder a performance?
Yeah, telling your stories about the pit would be absolutely fine. You could
Only
be
for
a-
hardcore men
Wait, what's
and
your
hardcore women.
what's your performance mod?
Performance mod. +2.
+6. I'll be your backup.
Ooh, all right. So
You
it takes,
ever see Eldorado?
oh yes.
Yes.
Like landing on the loot.
You all arrive at the hold of Kraken.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
I mean,
It
we were
takes-
there, but like,
well,
damn, we were there again.
Elanor, I hope
You
you're guiding
arrive
me
at the
safely.
actual hold.
Oh, I'm on your shoulders.
Oh, you're on my shoulders?
This is still a thing that we're doing.
Okay.
Where
She's riding your shoulders going like, that way! And you're like, I can't see where you're pointing.
That way!
Elanor?
Listen to the sound of my voice and go in that direction!
93.65 degrees to your right.
Have you ever seen a sundial?
Have you seen
Sunset!
scanners?
That direction.
this is what you all arrive to. I know I can't really show it, but
Oh, that's proper dwarf.
Wow!
For those nice listeners at home,
I'll be
those are
putting,
some nice buttresses.
Yes, I'm going to be
It's
putting
like a
up
fucking
pictures.
castle burrowed into the side of a mountain.
It's almost like it's a dwarf thing.
If he remembers, he'll put up pictures so you'll know what you're talking
Yes, because I generally have a TV screen behind me, but I don't. So
Visuals!
this is
Please
exciting.
put on your 3D goggles at this time.
As you arrive at the gates,
There's no reason to. We just want you to put them on.
maybe. No, it's
Oh
not
wait,
your
I'm
turn.
blind with my
Okay.
glasses on.
Never mind.
Anyway.
As you arrive at the gates,
It's impossible.
each of you arrive maybe like
Is the
50
castle
feet-
on fire with like pillars of fire actively
Oh, no.
descending upon
Oh
you?
no,
And
It's
I feel
very,
a dark
very-
presence.
dwarven-ish, but like it's obviously dwarven in nature, but it's more like dark stone, like carved out of the stone.
Feels like a
Perception
dwarf.
check. Is this the normal? Like, am I seeing guards?
Yes.
What's wrong with the guards? Like, is this the normal number of guards? Are they overstaffed? Are they understaffed because they're rushing around the city? What is the situation at hand? Oh, that is so much better. That is a mod 20 on perception.
From what it seems, looking up at the buttresses as well as looking down in front of the gate, it does appear that there are more guards than usual, especially going across the bridge towards the actual keep itself. There seems to be a very high density of guards much, much closer to the keep itself.
And have I been informed or made aware of any agents within the guard that we have strategically placed?
I would say there
Is
are
that
possibly...
like a roll against my renown?
No. I would say that in the time that you were there, you would have been told there are at least 2 on the outside and maybe 1 on the inside. But
Man,
acting
you
as
got
a servant.
numbers on your side.
No, I mean, like, we literally have a base of operations here. We're gonna have people in the local city.
And in the... For actual numbers, you can, as a perception, you can gather there are about maybe 20 on the outside, maybe 10 on the buttresses.
So, like,
But
have like a 1 in 10
Yeah,
chance of
Jesus.
randomly approaching a member of my order by approaching the city militia in the castle.
Pretty much.
I like those odds.
Since we're approaching the gates, am I regaining my vision with a spotty eye?
Yes, now you're regaining your vision. It's kind of like like
It's like when you stare into a light for a long period of time, then you have that spot.
You know, like you
Yes.
just were doing in real life,
Yes,
trying to
you
make
were.
yourself really roleplay as your
As
character.
you-
The
That's what I
dedication is beautiful.
as
Jared
you all
Leto's-
walk up, as you all walk up to the gates, you are escorted by 2 other guards who notice and recall you two being there, Leshanna
Wait.
and.
Do you know what a call and response is?
I would
Oh,
assume
we're
so.
taking you off.
So, like, in certain, and this is a more modern spy thing, but, like, in certain organizations, there is, like, a question that is asked with an odd answer, which is how people within an organization recognize each other in a clandestine format. So, like, there's a hit squad, and it's like...
Lovely weather we're having, isn't it?
No, it's like, what do you do if the house is full of bugs? It's like, call another exterminator or something. That sort of thing.
Oh,
And I'm
what's
wondering
the
if the
fucking-
Harpers have like some sort of gesture or call and response. It's just like, are you a Harper? Yes. Are you not a Harper? Oh, well then this was just meaningless banter and means nothing to you.
Also,
Do you want to give me one as you were part of the Harper's Guild?
It would take me a minute to come up with something thematically appropriate.
can I not be escorted while naked?
I'll message. Oh, okay, that will also work.
Can I
Just
put on
send
my
it.
clothing?
Oh, I would assume that on your way there you would put on clothing.
Roll an athletics check.
No. On your way there you would have stopped and buy someplace and put on clothes, unless you wanted to stop someplace and buy just like common clothes. Again.
Blacksmith's apron.
Mm-hmm. Did you want to buy noble clothing before you were there?
No.
Okay, blacksmith apron it is. You are
Like the
brought
dirt.
to the main gate. The main gate is lifted after a few interactions between the guards up top and the guards below. And the gates are lifted. You walk for a good maybe minute or so in the... I can't...
Fucking read.
No, this won't turn. Because I wanted to turn so I can show
Hey
you guys.
Jack.
Is your screen locked?
My screen is not locked, unfortunately. I
Jack.
don't know why it won't turn.
We can take your weapon and turn it into something new.
Why did your voice change?
I'll show you guys in a second. You continue down the hallway for another maybe minute or so,
Clothing.
down a sconce-lit interior. The ceiling itself appears to be about 20 or so feet high, adorned with the very similar symbol you've seen on the guards' clothes. It's a deep red, a rich red cloth with an emblem of a hammer hitting an anvil.
Damn.
You continue along for another minute or so, and you are brought to another set of doors.
No.
2 more guards, again, stationed at the doors. They exchange interactions again, and the doors are opened. And you are brought into the next layer of the keep. There is a path to your left. There is a path to your left, a path forward that leads down, and a path to your right.
You want to draw it on the chalkboard?
Here, I can do it.
Here, yes, please. That's why I kind of wanted to sit over there, but
With the tiny ass pieces of chalk.
yes.
Yeah. We should buy chalk.
Mhm. That would be nice.
Just tell me the room description. And
They sell chalk downstairs. You could get it on there.
Where's the chalk?
On the table next to you.
On-
It's a little piece.
This?
Yeah.
Great.
It's also on the little chalk holder.
Figure.
By the slightest
Tell me
amount.
about it, Alex.
Alright. This is essentially like not essentially the main hall, but the place that would lead you to the different main halls and corridors. It's a cross section. You are entering from the bottom. So make like a crossroad sort of deal. A longer hallway in front of you, and then a section branching off to your left, your right, and then one going forward and down.
So, basically,
That would be fine. like that. Yes. And you guys are on the bottom portion. The direction the guards seem to take you is they're motioning you all to go towards your left. Do you guys comply?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, can I get a sense of where they're leading us? Like, is there? Yeah, are they clearly? They're
clearly leading you guys. They,
like to a side room, to the main
Oh,
chamber, to the execution block.
Have you been here before?
No, but I'm a spy. I've been in plenty of castles.
Yeah, no, okay.
I can't make like an
What
insight
is-
or perception roll. It's like, hey, are we being executed? Because I think we might be being executed.
You're
the
very
place
right.
that you are being
Paranoid.
taken, from what it appears, there, like I said before, there's a corridor to your left, a corridor to your right, and a corridor directly forward leading down.
Do they all have like the same details?
They're all roughly the same. They're all very ornate. The one leading directly ahead, though, seems to be a little bit more ornate.
Maybe the king wants us to meet in his private quarters and not throne room?
So the left and the right look the same.
Yes. They all, the left, right, and center all look the same. The only difference is the one directly ahead looks slightly more adorned and is leading directionally down,
Okay.
seemingly further into the mountain.
To hell.
Can I ask the guards, hey, if we're being taken to the Chieftain, why don't we just go straight? Because that looks like the way it is. I'm not questioning where you guys are going.
And how tall are you? Just
6 foot.
yeah. These 4-foot dwarves are just kind of like looking up at you, like, "We're taking you to him right now."
Oh yeah.
You're
Yeah, we
summoned-
little cunt.
Insight,
You are
are we being lied to?
Yeah, we little shite.
Not 20, please.
It's not a mod 20. It's a 15.
I said nat.
You can tell they're not lying. They seem to be very truthful.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Alright.
they continue on saying,
Side note,
yes.
3 rules of calls and responses. 1 can be changed at will if the organization feels that integrity is compromised or that someone has infiltrated the organization, and so it needs to be addressed. 2, different cells of the organization would probably have different calls and responses. So, like, maybe the Harpers have one that's sort of universal, or maybe one that's local, and how you want to deal with that is how it is. And 3, they don't necessarily make a lot of logical sense, because if the answer can be guessed, it's not an effective call and response.
Alright.
So, like, it doesn't sound entirely crazy, but it doesn't sound quite right.
What do you like to put on your scare tea?
What?
Lots of onions and a lot of dip.
Okay.
Dip down.
They
I also have that written down in case you call and I need to respond. Yeah.
This place has many layers. I think it reminds me of something. An onion?
the pit.
So I kind of tried to diffuse the situation, and I'm like, excuse my comrade, we're very tired, and the events of today have been started, and let's just get this dreadful business concluded with.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it can go bang on a piece of metal.
You're really weird.
With your hammer.
Oh, absolutely.
Which one?
Oh,
R2.
Both.
You have 3.
I do have 3.
It's mounted to my ass.
I also have a stick.
Dear God! All right, continuing on.
Moving on.
You travel for another minute or so, and then you are brought to a staircase that leads down to another door. As the door is opened for you, you are brought into a very elegantly ornamented hall of some sort. In the middle of the hall appears to be a large table that could sit roughly 60 people or so.
Is there any ornamentation or furniture that seems like, I don't know, out of taste or vogue or very, not necessarily clearly, but like evidently enough to someone scrutinizing, it's just like, yeah, that's weird, that bookshelf seems too close, or no, nothing, I can't even roll for it, nope.
Does the
What's
table
your
have
passive
food?
perception?
What?
What's your passive perception? It should be at the bottom above
14.
your proficiencies. Nothing really seems out of place. It seems like, as you remember, other throne rooms being possibly more in the layout of a dwarven, more in the layout of a dwarven dining hall.
Okay.
Are there any foods on the table?
There doesn't appear to be anything at the moment. It's an empty table.
Are there any oddly specific characters that have any like detailing physical characteristics?
Yes.
Other than them being 4-foot dwarves with beards.
As you walk in,
You see a 5-foot?
you see a 5-foot dwarf.
With no beard.
No. Inside, you see.
So that's female.
I gotta pull it up now. God, I love having information.
I was just wondering if there was anyone I could physically make out. Like, that's
Yes.
different than everyone
You can make
else.
out with someone.
Yes, you can.
They might just find you
And
rude.
that is the person who's sitting at the end of the table on the opposite end.
The Chieftain.
Yes.
Oh, bow? Bow.
Bow? It's... Yeah.
As you enter,
I kneel.
you kneel.
Genuflect. Well, because
What the fuck did you say?
Jemmy Flex.
She kneels with one knee because she's
a
not...
knight, and that's
Yes, okay.
I'm not a knight.
I'm a gladiator.
I take off the cap and like sweeping bow. Like very
Crotchety old bitch style.
No, not crotchety old bitch. Just like I went to reform
sitting
school.
at the end of the
House.
table, you see a slightly taller than average dwarf. He has
That's why
very
his name's Kate.
ornately adorned braided
We're
beard.
saying an ornate a lot.
Oh yes, because it's all royal.
How would one
I
assess the
apologize.
nature of his health? A medicine check?
I would say a medicine check, but you are more
I'm
than
too far away.
You are more than a distance away. You still have a 60-person table between you and them.
Is there anyone sitting at the table
This is roughly
Chieftain.
besides him?
Jesus Christ, he looks metal as fuck.
No one's edgier than Jack.
Yep.
Are you
That's
sure?
about right.
what are you again?
I'm pretty edgy, man.
and then sitting next to
How do you counter Stalin? A literal iron dwarf.
and sitting next to him
It's the elf.
at the it's enough for two people to sit on one end of the table. Is the elf that you've seen before. She has jet black hair. She seems, even sitting down, she seems slightly taller than most elves would be, though there are no elves that you would really know of.
Do I know like the particulars of the appropriate bow for the Eladrin?
As you notice the Eladrin, you do recall in your order that if you were to ever encounter one of these,
Shoot on sight.
if you were to notice one pass by, you were immediately to bow your head. If not, if you were physically able to. If not, then you were to close your eyes in respect
Yeah,
until given permission to look.
I rise, but bow my head again until such time as I am addressed by the Eladrin, just to be like, yes, one of us at least knows the proper protocol.
Okay.
So you weren't paying attention.
You three
I
all
was
see.
paying attention, but I was also...
Yeah, you three all see as you are all getting up again. You notice that
The Eladrin's there.
the Aladdin,
Still Eladrin.
the Eladrin.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
You didn't specify
You
the
notice.
that much.
God, I have your name written down.
She's pretty.
You notice Elanor
I know. I
sort
need
of get up a
piece
little
of
bit and
iron.
then immediately back down again.
Not all the way down, just
Not as far as she did before, but at least
Can I
the
dip my
version of
head?
days. Yes.
I probably look up, notice.
Can she make it out?
Wake, like, wonder, like, oh my god.
She would make it out.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, are they still gray shapes to her? Or
No, I
It's
can
not
see it again.
necessarily gray shaped. It's
It's
like
just-
when
I
you look
just-
at the sun and you have that one like spot. That
oh,
you
okay.
constantly
Except
look
that
at.
spot is like her entire other.
Yeah.
Actually, it's, like, more, like, the center of my eyes.
Lashana's just probably going like.
But, like, I see her. No. Like, I see her, and I was like, I lift my head up, but I bow my head only halfway back down.
Mhm.
Would you bow to an Eladrin? You're Drow.
I
They're like
was
the native
raised
enemy of your
noble.
people.
I would bow
I was raised
like I
differently,
would
though.
at the end of a fight in the pit.
Okay.
But
You also don't.
Never
I
breaking
raised
eye
my.
contact and going down on a knee.
Well, things, I raised up. I'm standing, but my head is down.
No, I know,
I
but like
don't give them the same respect as I gave them.
they're Eladrin. They aren't part of the nobility. They're like the race that went to war with you.
Yes.
Numerous
Yeah,
times.
they got genies.
Yes.
Don't you know that?
But here's the thing: I wasn't raised as a Drow.
But you know
That
other
still
times.
makes you a drow. Meaning that there's still
She was
probably going to
basically
be
a drow.
like,
I don't
you're a
approve.
drow.
I know.
It's
Just
her
because you
backstory.
grew up
She-
with a different culture doesn't make you a drow.
I didn't say I wasn't a Drow. I said I wasn't raised as a Drow.
Meaning people would
What
still
were you raised
discriminate
as?
against
A
you.
muffin? A souffle?
A maple
Ooh,
syrup
muffin
baby.
button!
Alright.
How did you
Maple syrup.
survive?
I'm a sweeter Drow.
Sweeter?
You hear a voice drift.
I
Drow.
taste like honey.
You hear a voice drift across the table, seemingly like a melodic song, so to speak. And a female voice and says, "It is alright. You can raise your hands."
Oh, thank God.
And
I
as
have some experience with this. Am I being compelled to do so?
yes.
I raise my head, indignant. Well, no, like not compelled, but like I can't open the letter compelled.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck me.
Hesitantly.
All right, I raise my head and I'm like,
As you look up,
grumble, grumble.
you all see one of the most beautiful women you have ever seen.
You can also post
Eat
all
up
of
a
these
piece of
images
iron
to
for
the
her.
I know.
group chat.
Slam it into the anvil.
I nod my head towards her and acknowledge her existence. But I say nothing and I ignore her for the rest of the evening.
That's absolutely
I
fine.
think she's being compelled to do not that. To not.
Does the
ignore her.
Eladrin hate the drow?
Not necessarily that you're not allowed to ignore her, but you feel compelled to raise your head. As if you are not able to control your action.
Well, yeah,
Man, that's
my
sketchy as
hand
fuck.
is raised. I'm acknowledging her,
Yes.
that she's existing.
Do we feel the compelling stories or does that work?
I'm gonna point it out. I was like, my lady, there was no need to compel us to such action. We know the dignity of
I'm scared.
your presence well enough
I
to
have a
act of our own accord.
I want to go back to the pit.
It is not something that I can control. It is just how our race is. Absolutely.
Okay, can I put my arm on...
Shit, fuck.
Can I put my hand on his shoulder, on Drendok's shoulder?
It's not ideal. That's a
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
No, that's an 11.
Being a race that you have never encountered
Jack,
before,
I have no
you are
idea.
not sure.
Fuck are
She
you
seems
I'm
truthful.
scared.
She doesn't seem to be lying in any way.
Can I do it?
They could also be exceptional liars.
Fuck you.
I was raised in the pit.
My family was murdered.
I never knew my family.
I was born in the pit.
I
You
killed
merely
many others'
adopted.
families.
I mean, it's hard to tell. Being an
metal as
elf
fuck.
yourself, who, in even your people, are born to lie and deceive. I mean, it doesn't necessarily seem like she's trying to deceive, but then again, you can't tell whether or not she's lying.
Yeah.
So,
Her intent is not outwardly hostile, but she may not be telling you this whole truth.
in turn, you now see
Can I
Elder
roll
Kernan.
insight on that?
Yeah,
Because I have a +3 on insight.
I did +4 and I still fucked up.
I got a fucking 10. I know fucking same thing as he does.
Can I wink at her?
Do it. You are
Do you
already
want to wink
naked.
at her?
I would like to wink at her.
Roll a
You
charisma
are a
check.
dumbass.
Wouldn't that be a diplomacy
What?
check?
Well,
There
there's
is no such thing as
Motherfucker!
Welcome to 5e.
Did you crit fail?
Did you crit fail?
Severity? Are we making him do severity?
She sends the guards on
Sure,
her and sends
because it
to
it
be
makes
burned
sense.
Do you like
alive.
that? Do you like that system?
I do like this system.
Alright, roll a D100.
Do you have a
roll,
D100?
Roll a percentage dice, so a D10.
A D10 and a D10.
A D10 and a D100. So the one you're holding and then the other one.
Do you have
with
a
the single
D10?
digits.
Single digits?
Yes.
No.
It's the exact same dice, but with single digits.
Yeah.
Fuck. This is gonna be how severe it is. You want lower.
43.
Wait, you want lower?
Yeah. The lower. Well, no, you want higher. Sorry.
Yeah.
The higher you get.
Damn it.
Fuck shit.
Yeah, that's below 50. That's not good.
That is
I
not
mean,
good,
it's
man.
not severe. I mean, she probably goes like,
The
no!
You remind her deeply of the orc that slew her brother.
I look more like a dragon than I do an orc thing.
The dragon that slaughtered her family. Same, take your pick. They're Eladrin, they've seen some shit.
As you wink towards this seemingly mythical creature, you feel a very, very odd sensation, and you don't know why.
Where does he feel it?
Damn erections.
It's been so long
No,
since
I
she's
need
had
you
one.
She tried to read his mind, and all she could read was his dick.
Which is higher, intelligence or wisdom?
Don't ask that.
No.
Wisdom.
Wisdom, make a wisdom saving throw.
Motherfucker.
Should I do a d20 for that?
Yes, and then add your bonus. Your saving throw bonus.
Nope.
Saving throw bonus?
No,
What
should
if
be
I'm
top left.
Top left.
Do you see the box that says saving throws?
More 15.
Left 50. You feel a
Good sensation.
you feel a very, very dark sensation kind of roll through your body.
Yeah,
It's not necessarily that it's bad,
Oh yeah, feels like the first time I killed somebody in the
but I
pit.
need each of you three to make a perception check. Because
Ooh,
you're more
baby.
looking at her beauty.
14.
14.
16.
13.
16.
14. I would say you're the only one who notices this as having a more keen eye for these things. You notice
I can tell when your mind being fucked with.
I can see the future!
staring down across the table. Staring down across the table, you two kind of look back at him to see if what the fuck did you do? Elanor, though, you were looking down at the Eladrin to see if there's any actual reaction. There doesn't seem to be any reaction other than her hair starts to change a shade of red.
Do I understand the
I can
significance
see
of
the
the
color.
color? But color change, I know that black signifies something. What does black signify?
From just basic knowledge from what you know already,
Mm-hmm.
black just seems to be every Eladrin's natural hair color.
What would
So this is news to me. It was like,
What would
Yes.
one?
Wait,
Oh wait, I wouldn't know this. I'm not gonna say that because my character doesn't know about the hair change. So I'm
I
not
haven't
gonna.
seen something that red since the red sands of the pit.
Can I
you
whisper a
would
plan?
probably notice.
Can I?
do I hear
can
him
I-
say that, or is he no longer speaking?
Can I say a plan, player to player? You should. But what would you roll for a recall on memory?
Recall
Insight?
memory would be history. Insight is telling you whether or not a person is lying.
Could you roll to see if you remember her hair changing color at the execution?
Oh, that's a good point.
That would actually be.
Perception?
Or that would be.
Because like it's
History?
it's like
So
a
kinda-
it's like a history
Retcon.
it's like it's like a history perception.
It would be a roll a history check.
I didn't realize history would just be like how well you remember shit.
How about this? How
What
about,
about, like,
how about you
insight?
do a history?
Insight is to see how, like, if you can tell whether or not a person is lying.
How about you do
or
a
not.
history to remember the execution and perception
Okay.
to remember if you.
19.
19.
Oh, thank
Alright.
Jesus! You
Roll a
remember that.
perception check.
Come on.
This
That's
is
20.
a retroactive perception check.
A 16.
He can see the past.
Look at his future!
Let me just see.
Ow, 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 ow.
'Cause now I gotta
ow,
find
ow,
it.
Ow, ow.
Soon you will be quivering and oh my God, 19! Throw a fucking punch!
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm watching
What is
Super.
it? Hold on. Because I didn't think I
They
would
fucked
need to
her.
pull it up.
They fuck TN. I know that much.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been fucking TN, so that made sense, but they fucked Krillin and I was disappointed. I was like, why not boot Master Roshi first? No, they knock out Krillin as the first person out of their team in the tournament. It's disgraceful.
It seemed to turn when you were
Maybe go on
watching, You seem to notice a slight lightening of her hair, more like a blonde, like a golden blonde.
Like
seeming-
a sunlight blonde.
Yes, similar to a sunlight blonde. But
Was it kind of like the same color?
It was
of
more-
the big beam of
more
fire
like-
that came out of the sky.
very small highlights. So like what people do nowadays, where it's like streaks
Can
of
I-
like blue and
Can
black.
I tell that he's in a weird state, or just that her hair changed color?
Just that her hair changed color. It's not
Did I
necessarily.
pick up that he was doing anything lecherous or otherwise
You were-
inappropriate?
You kind of looked back and saw him do that, and then looked forward and noticed the difference in her hair color.
I stepped forward and away from the rest of the group to distance myself from him, and I'm like, I'm just gesturing, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Hey, Jack.
What?
And I motion
I'm slightly afraid.
Lashana and Jack to do
Okay.
the same
I
in
know
case
that
he just
feeling.
gets smoked with blood magic or whatever the fuck's about to
I
happen.
felt a feeling. She
What?
looked at me.
Like, is he about to be
That's
smoked?
love.
Elder
No.
Kernan.
Not that feeling. Not that feeling.
Elder Kernan
Kind of like
motioned
speaking into his
stand.
ear, kind of like quietly.
Oh my
asks,
god, she's a magic elf, she can hear anything you say. Shut up.
Elder Kernan
Like,
stands.
actually says that in character. Shut the fuck up.
I like cheese.
You see Elder Kernan stand, though it's not much taller than he is when he's sitting.
Is he
so
taller than I am?
yes, he would be.
Ha!
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm 3 foot.
He's
so.
he's a much taller dwarf, as in like he could almost be classified as just a short human.
Normal
With a very
dwarves are
bushy
like
beard.
4 feet tall.
Yeah, their average is like 4'5",
And he's above average.
or like their highest they can get is like 4'5". So
What
like,
else
this is
is
like
he
a
above
5 foot.
average in?
This is like a 4'11" dwarf. This is a.
Hey, my sister
Tall dwarf. He stands and he motions for you all and says, "Come, sit at the table." And you were brought forward up to a certain point. I'd say maybe
Third quarter.
You were brought maybe,
We're not in the end zone, but we're like,
let's
Third
say, 6 to 7 chairs
away.
away, and then you sit down.
Cool.
Oh no, my wonderful stairs.
To give you a guess, it's roughly 30 chairs on each side. So you're like close.
Wouldn't it be 28
I want to
chairs on each
sit
side? and
on
one
the
each end?
opposite. Alright.
Well, no, it would be.
Where is the Eladrin sitting?
The Eladrin is sitting directly next to him. So Roman, there's actually 2 on the ends. So 2 end caps.
So I
For
want
those of
to
you-
sit on
listen to
the
us, can't
side further from the Eladrin, but closest to the king, so I can keep my eye
Drake,
on her.
bitch. Okay, good.
Eladrin's on the right.
Are we like split?
On his
On the
right
left
or
and
the
right?
table's right?
On the table's right.
So that's right.
No, that's wrong.
No,
No,
that's
sorry.
right.
Your right, Roman.
So
So
swap
just,
the king and the bitch.
just switch.
Switch the bitch and the king.
Just
For our dear listeners at home, Roman is attempting to array this beautiful theater of the mind into chalk form. It is not
Yes.
going as well as planned.
Thank you.
Are we
And
on
then
the right
you-
or left side?
This is all up to you. Where do you want to sit?
I'm sitting our
The right is never
closer
left.
to the king.
Okay. So Roman, you want to go about 3/4 down? Nope. Closer to them. 3/4 close to them. Right about a little less. Right about there.
Yeah.
And the table's technically longer, but that's where you guys would be sitting.
okay, I'll be like right here.
What are you doing?
I have no idea.
It's like the epicenter of where we're sitting.
Man.
It's alright, Roman. We forgive you.
Shit, fuck.
Right.
I tried my best.
No, you're on this side because the king's on this side.
New weapon.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
Why
So
didn't you just erase
you
the
were on the
names?
left side of the table.
I'm just trying to keep an eye on the Eladrin woman and maintain eye contact with the king. Oh
Okay.
god. And I'm short, so sitting behind anyone would be antithetical to such aims. What are you doing with a chair leg? How did this happen?
Dear Lord. Okay. Brought
I can
there.
see the
Where are you
future.
all sitting in accordance? Are you sitting the closest to the king?
Elanor is, yes.
Yeah, because she's
Okay.
a drow and is
I'm
literally like 3
next
feet
to-
taller than I am.
Her because she knows me and knows when I start getting annoyed, she can smack me.
Jack.
I'm sitting next to Drendok.
And Drendok.
I like to slip
Is Strig
slightly
there?
farther because I didn't really get on the right foot with the lady.
Is Strig there, or is he riding his dog around town and not gonna get paid?
I would say
He's
Stigs
there.
is with you, just more towards the back. He's just
So,
He's
like,
sitting at the opposite head of the table. With Jake.
he's at the kitty table. In
He
the
is a
main hall.
goblin. He's taller than I am.
I know.
He also rides a dog.
Yes.
Do you have a dog?
Do I have like? Hang on. Do I have anything in my bag that I can sit on as like a booster seat?
A dog?
Your backpack.
Aymee-Lynne, other side.
We're all
Other
on the
side.
same
Everyone's
side.
on the left side.
There's no
Yeah, I
reason.
take off my pack and like remove anything fragile and then just sit on it.
Okay.
So I'm like,
Just tell me you got a little booster. So you can see your tiny torso is sitting there. All right. So, and just change bitch and king. Just
and my hat's
put-
on the table.
And your hat is on the table.
No, like,
Yes, thank you. All right. Sitting down. It's still an empty table. You're not sure because this is the dining hall. You were invited to dinner.
oh
Yeah.
shit!
There's gonna be
Yeah.
Is there anyone to take our order?
Candles. Yeah.
Are there
Currently-
like serving?
There is no one in the room besides the king and apparently bitch.
Can I roll to ask? Can I ask? I don't even know.
You don't need to roll.
I don't know what.
Should the drow really
General.
be asking for food?
Should the dragon orc?
Shut up.
No.
Is anybody else going to be joining us for dinner?
Not currently.
Strix waves from a distant table.
Yes, Stigs is all the way back there. Well, I mean, I guess him. But, and then you hear the dog barking in the distance, and Stigs is yelling, like, shit! And Stigs runs off and says, and Elder Crunch just kind of like, I'll find a way to give you his payment. Just find a way to get it to him. And he says, so,
Don't give it to
You
me.
all
I'll drink it all
hungry?
away. Yes, sir.
Famished.
I am hungry.
wonderful.
Am I famished?
That's up to you. That's up to you.
What are
Famished.
famished?
What are famished?
What is hungry?
He kind of looks over to the Eladrin, and she nods, and she snaps her fingers, and immediately before you, seemingly out of the table appears this single chalice in the middle of the table. It's a no, you had it right. You're right. Candlesticks, yes. It is a
Out of character, I'm almost certain that that's an ever-flowing chalice. But like, I'm not sure. I wouldn't in character probably know that.
As the chalice rises, it's a solid gold chalice completely encrusted in diamonds.
Mhm.
And as it rises, you all look towards the Eladrin, and she just kind of waves her finger a bit. And the chalice seems to overflow onto the table, and as it seems like the wine flowing from it is going to flow onto you, it stays on the table as if there's an invisible barrier there. And as the wine slowly fills up over your head at this point, it gets up to a point where it's
Can I-
about this
can I-
high.
Touch where I'm at? Well, no, I won't. But like later. Go. Sorry.
I'd like to comment on the fine craftsmanship of the goblet.
Basically, you say that, and the goblet just gets submerged.
Shit.
Just as the rims of the goblet is submerged, the wine immediately just drains, and before you is an immaculate feast, spreading the entire length of the table.
How much of it is meat?
At least half of the table, if not more. At this point, you basically cannot see the table. It is that full of food.
May I ask if it's fine to eat now?
Not yet.
The chieftain says, "One moment, this is our custom."
Is the goblet still visible?
The goblet is no longer there.
When
That
it
was a piece of fine
when it
craftsmanship.
was there writing on it, and could I tell if it was dwarven or not? Effectively, is the goblet of dwarven make, or did the elf bitch bring in a fresh gold cup, or is it impossible to tell?
If you had asked beforehand, I would have let you make the check.
Yeah, I can.
But
Recon.
it also just
Disappeared.
it appeared and then was overflowing because basically it was there. For the few seconds that it was visible, then wine immediately flowing over it, so you can no longer see it. It's like a fountain, except
Is the food on plates that match the design of the goblet?
all of the plates looking down now you can see are made of gold and are gem encrusted.
Oh,
And
like to
where
comment on the
in-
fine craftsmanship of the plates.
Directly in front of you are empty plates, basically about 1.5 feet in size,
That's a big plate.
just sitting in front of you empty along with jewelling. It's all jewel
It's
encrusted.
more like a
everything
platter.
else. Yes, basically.
Big
And
cake.
is the food of a dwarven style?
It does seem to be of dwarven style.
It's the food of a dwarven make.
Well, no. Are we looking at like someone butchered a pig, or did someone go outside and pick all the prettiest dandelions and turn them into salad? It's a pig.
It's what seems to be like the finest food you have ever encountered in your life, unless you've encountered a cleric.
Do dwarves
I'm gonna make a will save real quick. I'm in awe.
Can I ask the king something real quick?
Absolutely.
Like a personal thing?
For future reference, it is Chieftain, but yes.
That's what I meant, yeah, sorry.
No, it's absolutely fine.
So, sir, where did you meet your lovely, what I'm guessing, wife?
And at this point, as you were asking this, there are servants now coming into the hall. There are maybe 2 or 3, and are taking off like select things from the platter in the middle of the table, basically almost crawling onto
His
the
wife
table
was
to
murdered.
grab it, and then are bringing food to him on this massive platter.
What?
As you say this,
Can't read your lips. I just saw.
James, as you ask, is this your wife? You can see him kind of look at you with a bewildered look, but also like, were you not there?
Oh! I'm so sorry! I did not mean to offend you. Please forgive me, my family was killed too.
Roll a persuasion
Bluff
check.
check.
Roll a
Roll a
persuasion
bluff.
check.
Oh, 18, mod 18.
Alright.
Dumbass.
As you do say that,
Dumbass.
Can I give him inspiration to make it even?
18 is fine.
Alright.
You see the chieftain kind of like give you this glare, and then as you were explaining yourself, like,
Oh god, he's on the
like,
same
I'm
side
really
of the table
sorry.
as I am. Oh no.
We all are.
he kind of
You
gives you
chose
like a
me closest.
knowledgeable look, like, so you've been there too.
Yeah, it's kind of my whole reason for being a paladin. I'm kind of trying to find the guy that killed everyone.
And you did, and he's dead. Good work.
No, he's not.
Now that would be an interesting story to tell around the fire! And he slams his fist down on the table, and like almost the entire table like
Alright.
bounces.
I'm gonna do the edgy
At
piece
this
of shit
point-
thing and just kind of
At this point, there's a massive platter, basically almost up to his nose, in front of him, and he says, "Alright, now you can eat."
So, James, I'd like to say out of character, because I rolled poorly on like the will save I made myself make, I was going to be distracted by the food until either A, we were allowed to eat, or B, something so intense happened that I was distracted. And you were like, oh, so is that your wife? And I was like,
you are perfect!
Immediate awestruck denied.
I was in my happy place, man! And
I
then,
actually wasn't
and
having
as-
that
so, as I
The Eladrin is getting her food hand-picked by the servants, but much more delicately. They're
what
much
is she
finer
serving
things.
herself?
The servants seem to be picking up. Roll a perception check.
Sure.
Just because it is a very large table.
Oh, and I can't see over it. Oh,
I would
also,
like to
that's-
just have
Can I roll
a plate
to
of
see if-
assorted meats.
That's a 7!
I mean,
No!
it's there's
It's
like a
food.
giant ass hog in front of you, bud. There are at least 5 hogs on this table, like full-size boars.
How large are they? Do they fit on
7.
the platter?
So they
7?
fit in my mouth.
How large is the platter? Like at least half of this table. Like
You see, like,
boar.
ashen yams and native drow food, and you're just so awestruck that you don't notice anything.
By the way, the table that we're sitting at looks to
You
be
do,
about
all of
7
you
by 7.
looking at the table, you all find something from either your homeland, your childhood, or something that you enjoy the most.
Ah, rats
physical
from the
realm,
pit
not
dungeon.
Can I... So I noticed that.
Yes.
Can I notice the items of the homelands of other people and like, this is evidently also non-dwarven cuisine, or do I only notice my own?
I would say you would only notice your own, but as other people's are brought to them, or you guys choose,
Gladiator
pick and
rations.
Fuck
that.
Basically, the question
I'd
I'm
like to
trying
have a
make
big
is,
plate of meat.
can I see that anyone of my own party is also getting food that isn't dwarven, or like just stock food?
Oh,
I would say like at least 50% of it is dwarven, and then the rest of it seems to be kind of like
Personalized.
personalized
the
to
people.
your own taste.
But I can tell what's personalized to whom, roughly. I can tell when someone is getting something
You
that's
don't know
personalized.
enough about me.
It depends on if
Alright.
you guys grab it or not, or if you just have the servants give you food.
I'm trying to think of what Jack's.
Are you guys grabbing food, or are you letting the servants get it for
I'd
you?
like to
I'll
take
grab my
3
own food.
servings of pit rations and also a nice pile of meat.
Okay.
What the fuck?
I'll probably grab my own food.
What's an edgy
Probably grab your own food. What are you grabbing?
Anything on the table? Everything?
Anything that's on the table. Your heart desires, basically.
Hot
Ooh.
sauce.
Ooh, a little pile of pork.
Dirt.
Keep it stupid. So
Dark
yes.
fruit, dirt, potatoes, dark
Ashen
fruit.
yams.
Broccoli, because I'm poor. A lot of like green vegetables.
Broccoli
and,
because
like,
you're poor? Question mark?
Broccoli because
This
it
could be
can
like your heart's
turn
desires.
stalks.
Like, at one point or another, I wanted a human being. There would be, like...
A dead guy.
There would be, like...
No, fresh from the pit. That's where the pit. That's where the pit rations come from. The slain enemies of the
Pretty
pit.
much. It's like filleted, like, calves and shit.
I wish I could tell you
Jerky of
different.
like rare delicacy of jerkies.
Yes, there you would definitely find that.
Wiggle sausage at Flayed Man. bites
Sometimes
tickles
those who
off.
fall in the pit become pit rations.
No, I'm just, so food-wise, I'm gonna look at if I can even make eye contact with the Chieftain and or Eladrin woman.
Like,
Can I even see them at
Because
this
you're
point?
sitting, only because you're sitting
On a high
on
chair?
your high chair,
Yes.
you can. But it's really hard to see the Chieftain as he is up to his nose in food, basically.
So I'm peeking up a little bit, and I was like, Chieftain, would drink be ill-advised?
How so?
Are you going to partake of drink?
And you see him just raise one of the goblets that appeared in front of him. Do you want to look at your
bucket.
goblet?
I look into my goblet very warily.
Inside,
dirty pit water.
Inside, you find whatever your favorite drink would be.
Oh goddamn! I love you, my beautiful red wine.
Oh, apocalypse cow.
Alright, I'm going to...
Chocolate milk.
So the Eladrin can't see me if I kind of scoot down a little bit, I hope.
The Eladrin would be able to see you.
I'm going to see if I can spill the goblet in an accidental fashion and see if it refills.
Okay.
Is that a
roll
deception?
roll a
Why
sleight
wouldn't you
of
just
hand.
drink it?
It should be towards the
I
bottom.
can do that. I can do that. That's a 22.
Alright.
Ah, digging it out.
I'm a bard.
You're just like, shit!
I'm reaching for the pig and I just...
Basically,
Elbow.
what happens is the Eladrin kind of peeks over as the servant is bringing her food, and as she does, she hears like a ting ting ting, and she kind of looks over and she's like, "Ah, "It's all right," and she kind of motions it, and the goblet actually lifts off the table, lands upright, and then immediately fills back up with whatever your favorite drink would be.
Then I take a sip.
You still have your hand on
James,
my
what-
shoulder?
Yeah.
Jack, what do you drink?
I also apologize profusely.
as you
Terribly
and as
sorry.
you do so, you kind of like look back, and the
Liquid is
wine
gone.
is gone.
Okay, so it's just magic. It's not poison magic. Okay, good.
I
I'm super paranoid by this
want
point.
to eat the flesh of whatever killed my family.
As
And
you
drink
look,
and drink its blood.
as you kind of like look around,
It's impossible.
you can't see the person who killed your family. However, you do see a fresh goblet of what appears to be a thick red liquid.
Fuck me.
How many C's?
Like
150.
like
Double C.
Canadian Sea.
Like the Red Sea.
Like the Red Sea.
You guys will understand the Canadian joke later.
So like,
What kind of meat do you want?
The meat of those killed
You-
by Fey.
You don't see anything of that nature. However, you do see just meats in general. Pretty much every sort of animal you can find.
Turns out it was a boar that just ran through your house and...
turns
Is
out
there
your
anything
father
that
was
you-
Robert
Is there
Baratheon.
anything else that you begrudgingly
Faster
eat
than-
elsewhere?
What?
Is there something else that you begrudgingly eat elsewise instead of the meat of your enemy?
The meat of his friends.
The meat of his friends, his family, and all of his loved ones!
Hey man, some of my flesh was cooked from your explosion. You can have that.
Cat.
Cat?
Cat?
You find...
I can eat that puss.
God damn it, you find a giant mountain
Sick
lion.
motherfucker. I eat a pig. Like a
Yeah.
civilized creature.
I ate a mountain of
Are you
meat.
saying that
Rations
I'm
from the
assuming,
pit.
I'm assuming you're all at least digging in.
I'm
somewhat.
trying to perform etiquette to the best of a noble standard that I've been trained to intimidate, but otherwise, yes.
So
And I'm
you're
eating
all
like a starving
partaking in-
gladiator.
I'm eating.
the
just-
way that you're saying that is
I
not
am-
ideal, but yes. I'm
Okay, so
taking
you're
of
all
the pig
partaking
that
in
is
the meal.
directly in front of me.
As you start partaking in the meal, you kind of like look up and roll a perception check, each of you guys. Just kind of see.
Oh shit. That's a 9.
19,
I mean, you're too short.
Nat 20, baby!
Nat 20!
21.
Ha! Bitches. Alright. You notice that
Yeah,
Elder Kernan is
23 odd.
actually looking at you all, trying to see if you're going to start eating as well.
Wait, the elf?
No, the chieftain. But the elf does appear to be kind of giving slight glances in your direction. But she just appears to be nibbling on
Oh yeah, we're
some
being
meat.
executed.
And in doing so,
I haven't shaken the feeling, but like I'd rather be drunk.
in doing so, then he also starts digging into his own feast.
Don't I have a resistance?
I have
As
like a.
he had already started,
But I
he
don't
stopped.
notice this.
He stopped as he was waiting for you all to partake as well, as is dwarven custom.
Oh.
Can I look for cheese?
Cheese, there's absolutely cheese.
There's
Oh,
like a
cheese is right in
small.
front of me. Hell yeah.
There's a cart that they bring up with cheese. The wheels of the cart are also cheese.
Wheels of cheese. The cart is cheese.
Don't I
Alright.
have a resistance to poison?
Well, you gotta have wine and cheese.
Not as an
I got my
orc,
glass
it
of
would
wine.
say in your thing.
Did you hear about the destruction of the castle of the Wisconsin king? There's nothing left but debris.
Alright. As you all start digging in, Elder Kernan kind of engages in talk and he says, "So, where did you all come from? Beforehand." And you see him like with this giant drumstick just going to town at
Like from the beginning or from before we hooked up on this mission?
Well, from the mission, of course.
Okay. Well, I believe that most of us were over in Greyfond, doing some work.
I'm from the gladiator pits in Greyfond.
I've
Wasn't-
been there.
wasn't-
Son of a bitch, I'm sorry I couldn't fight you then.
I killed many people. It wasn't necessarily my happiest time, but I loved fighting.
That's how I gained my place as chieftain.
I could become chieftain.
And he moves on.
Oh, Greyfond!
Wait.
Wait, you're already chieftain of the pit. That was like your fighting title.
I'm chieftain
So,
of the pit, but I want to become chieftain
where
of
do
the
you
rest of
hail
them.
from, Drow?
Well, actually, I'm not originally from here.
France!
That's
They're all
why she's
friends.
so rude.
No! I am from a continent to the east. I grew up in a very small island.
I see.
So, not the underdarky.
Please
Who's
send
the
me a larger
darky?
map. I know where I'm from, but I need to consult it real quick.
I gotta get my edge on.
Did you come from this continent or the one that was nearby?
I think I came from one of the temples on this continent is what I'm gonna say.
James.
It's like,
Oh,
My hair's not long enough.
shit.
whatever
Why are you
one
snapping?
I would be closer with.
The one that you were closest with would be actually the one in the city. The
Oh,
center
here.
of Aymee-Lynne.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was like, I'm local.
I think I don't remember.
No, I was taken in at the Septiv Ayun in town. That's how I can, and I start speaking in Dwarven fairly eloquently to the best of my ability. And I'm like, I lived here and then left to make my fortune in trade sometime when I came of age.
That sounds like a wonderful idea. A wonderful time you've had.
And
When
get
I
them
came of
back
age, I still found drinks.
under such auspices, even.
I mean, it's been turbulent times recently, so I understand.
It's always been
And
troubled
you-
times for me.
One with the dead parents.
Okay. I look up at him. My red eyes piercing through my hair.
Yeah,
My
Brett.
black hair. I look at him and I say,
Angst!
I left my family.
You're
to
not
go
even a teen.
I left my family to go fight in the army. I was a trainer among the men, one of the best swordsmen. I came home. My wife and children were dead. I've been looking for the killer ever since.
So how'd you find the killer if you weren't even there for the slaughtering?
I've heard rumors.
He kind of looks over to the Eladrin and then just looks back at you and says, Aye.
Yay.
Yeah?
Yeah?
And then
Noting that,
then
I pick up on that look. I assume.
Yeah,
I'm noting
everyone
the
would have
adventure
noticed it
as
as you're all looking at him.
I'm not. I'm eating.
You're right, you're eating.
I mean, I'm drinking with it.
Immediately after you're done,
I'm
he
just-
looks. He says, "Where are my manners?" This, and he gestures towards the Eladrin. He says, "This is my
Acquaintance.
Court mage.
not necessarily. This is my bitch.
This is my side piece, Cabrasambra.
What's
She's
the
been with
name?
me since my old wife.
What's the
died.
name?
Vizier.
Not necessarily.
Transvazia
Because-
Napa.
God damn it. What is the name of a person who you were having intercourse with and possibly having...
Silo.
Mistress. That's
Napa.
I can't remember. Their name is Napa. No.
Alternatively, lady in
Go
waiting
damn
for
it,
the
Napa.
court.
Yes, I have it written down again. It's just so deep in the
Or he
notes
would just
for me to
introduce
use
her
it.
by title and leave the connection implied.
This is bitch.
She does my bidding, and then I do hers.
They
She
call
does
me-
my bidding, and then I do her.
He gestures to her and says, "This is my lady in waiting." Wow, his voice changed immediately. This is my lady in waiting.
Waiting.
Lady never likened to the. This is.
Thick.
Have to pull up the right one.
So if
Lady
they got
Vespasian.
pregnant, would they have like a really short elf,
This
a really tall
Is my
dwarf,
mistress in
or
waiting.
something in between?
Mistress in waiting.
He says, "This is my mistress in waiting." And I know the voice
Clearly
is
getting it wrong.
Yes.
Alright,
I know.
noted.
I know. Lady in waiting, mistress in waiting.
Lady in waiting, mistress in waiting. is in
mistress in the wait.
So what? She's the mistress is the person he's cheating on his mistress with. Mistress in waiting.
This is his lady in waiting, and she looks up, and you see now these dark green eyes, and she says, "My name is no, that's the wrong one."
Esteban Julio Rotado de la Rosa Aramea.
My name is Lamia Sylwarin. I can't remember. Lamia Sylwarin.
Can we call her Lamia?
Lamia Sylwarin.
Lamia.
Can I call her Lamia?
So lamb elf.
Her
Excellently
Her
done.
name is Lamia, Lamia, and then Sylvarin. So Sylvarin.
Varan. Sylwarin?
Sylvarin. I know, apparently that's how it's pronounced.
In Deutschland.
Exactly.
Warin.
Sylym
Deutschland!
Warin. And she says, "I am the princess of the Eladrin I was sent here.
Insight check. Why would she introduce herself as lady if she was a princess?
Well, the
21
dwarf introduced her
as a lady in waiting, which is not a polite term to use.
For a princess.
Or a mistress,
And
which
what
is
did you get?
21 on insight check.
21.
If she's really a princess, why would she not introduce herself or be introduced as some sort of nobility?
She will be introduced as
As
someone
an
who's
insight check
out here.
with, is it mod 19?
No, it's a 17 mod 21.
Mod 21. Okay.
Damn.
She seems
You
to
looked up
be
twice. That's some ass, like, grab.
telling the truth, but then again, you've only encountered. This is the first time you've ever encountered an elf of this race. You're not exactly sure whether or not she's lying or not because she seems very, very alien. Her hair is.
Is it
her
still
pers-
red?
It's no longer red. It is returning to its
Wait.
normal black color.
Is this the
There
first
are
time
traces of red, though, that kind of flux when he says lady in waiting.
Okay, noted.
What's a princess?
The person who is next in line to become queen or king. But queen in this instance.
Who does she have to fight to become queen?
She
The
has
dragon
to-
is
she
menace.
Her parents either need to both be dead or she marries a king.
Yes.
Oh, motherfucker. That's not good. That's not good at all.
She says, I was sent here by Miyakadon.
It wouldn't be allowed.
Miyakadon.
No, it wouldn't be.
My
It's a
father.
very pure way. It's the fact that she's
Miyakadon.
even.
Miyakadon.
Wait.
Who is our queen?
Insight check again on the veracity of whether she was really sent here. And it's not as good, but it's still an 18.
You would recall that this would be from your knowledge of reading as little about them as you have.
They would have to
found.
get permission to leave.
You would realize, well, you would remember that Miyakadon is the queen of whatever the Eladrin would be. It seems to be their enacting rule.
Right, I'm just trying to figure out if she was sent or if she is fleeing and pretending to have been sent, or is under some other alternative. An insight check isn't helping me there.
Insight check is more kind of
To
like
tell if I'm being lied to.
yes. From what you can get, she seems to be honest about the part where the name is right.
Can you stop? We are actively recording and you are hitting the
Yes.
table that we have a microphone on.
Yes.
Stop.
What do you mean?
I mean, from your previous insight checks.
Insight.
Insight checks. She's
Ya wee little insight.
She seems to be very hard to read, but from what she's been telling you, the information checks out. There aren't many left. There's a queen who is sending a princess, who is a lady in waiting, according to the chieftain.
Whoops.
Possibly being engaged to the chieftain.
If I can ask, and it isn't rude to do so.
This is in character, right?
Yes.
Okay.
If I can interrupt and ask if it's not rude to do so, are you the heir apparent of the Eladrin hold? Meaning, are you the eldest inheritable child, or are you perhaps a lesser on the second or third born child that would more likely be married off for political power?
Yes. I have but 98 brothers and sisters.
All of them older, except for Ron James, the bitch.
Except for Dick Mashigs.
She kind of looks down and
She probably.
she seems a little
I'm aware it's a forward question,
upset about the question you asked, but she says, "We are not necessarily talking, right? We are not necessarily, as you can tell, a very known race, and we are not spread far out between the realms. So we are trying to at least spread possibly our lineage."
Straight up don't answer the question. Okay, noted.
If it answers your question,
I am not the only sibling, but not necessarily the
Forgive me
youngest.
for assuming that your customs for inheritance would be the same as our own.
Indeed, it is not. Bitch.
So, not heir apparent.
So who you gotta fight to gain inheritance? That's not
The dragon Drendok.
Okay.
We've been over
Okay.
this.
I was gonna say, if that's in character, I was like, I mean,
What the fuck?
like, what?
Oh,
Can I-
also,
Wow.
thank you for the
I have a question.
You're very welcome. That's honestly the least that I can do.
Is this the first Eldrin
Eladrin.
Ladrin that I've met? My
Oh,
164 years.
This is the first Eladrin that anyone has met inside of a century.
Yeah, but
At
I'm
least-
over.
At least
I'm
within
164
1,000
in 1,000 years. Okay, then.
years. Yes. As in, they're very... They are not spread out and far-reaching.
I didn't
As
know
she
if
is
I
very
ran
easily.
into my 164
No.
years of life.
No, you would not have met them. Even in the... Compared to the time frame that they leave, you were basically a small blip.
And I don't
You're
want
like, you have been alive a tenth of the time that they would have been out.
I don't
Literally
want
a tenth of the
having to
time.
roll insight checks for every question I ask unless you want me to.
That is up to your character if you want to keep insight checking every time.
Does it?
That's up to your character. If
You
you
fucking
want to
I'm
believe
still
her.
trying. No, like, because my goal here is to find out information, which means
Yes.
I really need to be leaning hard on the "am I being lied to" stick.
Yes.
But I don't know if in the same span of seconds, if you want me to do an insight check for every question, because that could get annoying. That's up to you. That's your discretion, because I'm going to be doing it a lot.
Would you like to make one roll and have that as a consecutive roll?
Sure.
This
If I could have chosen to do
This
so, I
could be
probably would have
either
stuck with the
really
21
good
because
or really
Because...
bad.
Alright.
it's not as good. Insight, it's a 17.
17. Okay.
Stick with a 17. It's probably better than
It's-
some of the rolls I could get. Yeah.
Yes. Going forth, what else? Is there anything else that you want to ask her, talk to her about?
Why would the Eladrin decide now is a good time? Well, not asking the question, but like, do the Eladrin according
Is
to
this in
her?
character?
No, this
Okay.
is me trying to reason out. Is
Okay.
she lying about the Eladrin wanting to spread their influence? No, it would make sense that they want to. The question is why, and the answer is demons.
Answer: demons. Daily demon double. The demon.
Does one of the ley lines pass under the Elven Holder? Do I not actually know that?
You would not know
May I ask the chieftain a question?
that.
Do you have any suggestions on where I might go to fight in a pit?
We have a pit in town.
Why, absolutely.
Thank you.
Backyard, 5 minutes. I will get them to dig one as we speak.
We'll have to red sand
The
my
floor opens and below you is a pit.
Full of sharks.
Oh my
On
god.
land.
It's a shark pit. One
Seven
man,
sharks.
7 sharks. Tonight on Shark.
1 man, 7 sharks, 6 javelins.
Oh yes.
Sounds like a kinky porn.
Yeah.
I've seen enough etchings on cave walls to know where this is going.
He kind of like looks to you and says, "Oh, absolutely. In fact, if you want afterwards, I'd be down to even fight you myself down in Morden's Hall."
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Fucking hell. Your wife just died and you executed the murderer, and now you're just gonna go fight some random dude. I'm not saying this, but like this middle of hell.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to intrude, and I know that you're much better than me in fighting. I've heard stories.
But I love it.
But it would be an interesting thing to do.
An honor.
It would be an honor to duel you. Now, I don't know your rules about this, but I genuinely don't want to do to the death or anything.
No, man, it would never be to the death. Neither
Good.
the rule of the kingdom. This would be for man versus man. Brute strength versus brute strength.
I'm liking this.
Loincloth versus loincloth.
Are you like becoming visibly aroused at the thought of wrestling the king of this country?
A, there's a bunch of food on the table, and I'm sitting at the table. B, I'm wearing a really thick blacksmith's apron.
And
yes,
only...
there's a visible bump. Slightly raising the table.
Slightly aroused.
All of a sudden we're sitting there. All of a sudden we hear.
Also, Chieftain, also, do you know of any places I can learn to better my smithing?
Well, there's no other place better than Rothog's Ember. The Ember's Ironback Smithy.
I was his assistant for quite a long time. You might have remembered me at some point. You might have walked in.
You might have remembered me from such endeavors as the 5th time I lit myself on fire, or the 12th. That was a
You may have
doozy.
seen me in the back sometimes wearing this really horrible-looking misshapen mask. This is gonna be good.
Did you make him roll severity?
Maybe. He actually thinks back for a second and then shudders and says, "Oh, you're the one in my nightmares."
Do you then slowly produce the mask and just put it on your face?
I bring the mask out of wherever I'm keeping it.
Yeah.
The
And I
blacksmith's
slowly
apron
put
only
it on the
pouch.
table next to my plate.
Oh my god. Roll an intimidation check.
I don't want to intimidate.
Do it.
Roll an intimidation
God
check.
damn. Fucking.
4.
DM is DM.
6. Not 6.
He is.
It's not as scary as I remember, but still.
He
It
seems
smells
he
faintly
seems
loud.
physically shaken that is there, but is like, oh, it's not as terrible in person, and now actually seeing you is.
Would you like me to destroy it?
Yes.
It's part of my childhood. No.
I can sacrifice it to the blood gods if you want to.
You ain't all shiny.
Yeah, bitch.
Alright, we're hitting the volume levels.
Fucking
No. This is good. Keep it here.
Oh yeah. Is there anything you wanted to ask?
Can I see it?
Have we? When are we going to get our money?
Wow. What a drow thing to do.
Wow, that is the single most racist thing I've heard against Drow in my entire life.
I know. I'm
It's like
just
saying, wow,
He
what
kind
am I
of
gonna
looks at you and says, "Listen."
Listen, you ain't little shy. We'll get there when we get there.
No, what if he says, don't you see the plates in front of you? That is your pay.
What do you
Make
think?
you fucking wish.
What do you think paid for
This
all
would
this
probably
food?
be
Triple, at least.
This
Okay,
would
can I-
probably a single fork would be probably worth 1,000 gold.
Fuck, I want to steal it. Fuck, I want to steal it so bad.
It's probably gonna disappear.
Oh no,
once
I know
the
it's magic, but like...
Eladrin goes.
He says to you, "We're having a formal dinner, and then I shall get your payment in the throne room."
After the wrestle.
Yeah, we.
Yes,
So wrestling for you.
wrestling will commence tomorrow. We will schedule a time.
I'm sorry for
Thank
the
you.
informal way I said that, but I was just wondering when we were going to get the money because I do need to be paid.
There's
Oh,
also a
absolutely.
Drow thing to say.
That's actually kind of.
Are there any
rude.
other questions you have?
Leshanna?
I
We
have
are
some
sat
more
at their
questions.
table.
I have some more questions for the lady at the table. But I don't
Which
want... Lady at the table, conniving thief, spy. Lady at the table.
Now that's the most racist
Excuse
thing
me.
I've heard.
Excuse me, I am not a conniving thief.
The first thing you ask when presented with a royal audience is, where the fuck is my money? At the very least, that makes you a dishonorable knight.
Oh shit.
Ooh.
That's
You're now.
Honey,
shit.
You're now
I was not
acting
honorable
more.
to begin with.
You're now acting more like a mercenary than a
Yeah,
knight.
she's Lady Braun of the Blackwater. Effectively.
Lady Braun of the Black
Personality
Water, I love
trait,
you.
annoyed easily. Your bickering is making me annoyed.
Oh no, my personality
We're not
trait is
bickering, we're
I need to
making
correct
fun of
stupid,
you.
but like that hasn't happened yet. So,
That counts.
But I'm like, I have a great number of questions for someone of such
Importance?
not importance, but of such like serendipitous arrival as Eladrin. I do not want to bog down a formal dinner with questions of your people. So
Maybe not right
If
now.
you would like to meet afterwards, by
of
all
course.
means. I would suggest probably after the payments have been made so your friends can be on their way, do as they please, as they so seemingly are inclined to get.
And then I kind of look a little solemn for a moment and I ask, I realize that this is going to be perhaps not something that is appropriate dinner discussion, but has today's events brought you any solace?
Solace, yes. You see her hair start turning.
I'm asking the king then.
Oh.
Because his was the wife that died.
The wife that died.
And we executed her murderer, and I was like, have you yet found a semblance of peace in this action?
Well, in doing so, you do notice that her hair is starting to turn slight shades of white from the black it is. And you see him...
So like a drow. Because drow hair is white by default, right?
No.
Not by default, but technically, because they don't have sunlight.
Like,
Since you have been in the sunlight for long enough, your hair has some sort of pigment.
Yeah, one thing I have dark green hair was because I've been in the sunlight and has white stripes.
Let's just say there are multiple congregations of Drow.
elves?
Yeah, let's just say there are many sub-races of Drow that are just kind of littering the Underdark.
Hey guys,
like
okay,
an infestation.
What if she's not even an Eladrin, just some very, very beautiful drow?
Why the fuck do you think I'm trying to interrogate her on her people?
Hey, guess what? Just an FYI,
I'm
I have
slow.
guys, an FYI of what I look like. I'm 5'7". I'm civil. I have eyes of silver, copper skin, bronzish copper skin, and dark green hair with white streaks. Because
I am a 3 foot tall female halfling with a massive feathered pimp hat and a
I thought you
guitar.
were gonna say
And compared to you, she is roughly 6'4".
she's
As
tall
in
for now.
Eladrin.
Eladrin.
Oh, yeah.
I'm only 18.
Pimp hat.
As you look towards the chief.
Wait, my pimp hat was on the table when it was flooded.
Yeah.
Wait,
looking at
Alex.
it, do you feel for it? See if it's
I'm
damaged.
gonna be
Alex.
like, oh shit, where did it go?
Remember when I was creating my character, and I was like, since I'm half dragon, couldn't I have something carry over?
We said there was a resistance.
You have a
which
scaly
was
deck.
just
It was poisoned because like the other half is a green
green
dragon.
Alright,
Oh.
so keep that in mind.
So it's an evil dragon.
Gray green is my skin color.
Right. But
Keep that
chromatic
in
dragons
mind.
are evil and metallic dragons are good. So a green dragon would be evil.
Yes.
Well, an organic dragon kind of
Alright.
makes
I
sense.
just
I always
really
thought
thought
it
it
was
was a
really
drunken
racist,
super.
but like,
Yeah. Talking to the chieftain, he says, he seems a little bit
shaken by the question, of course. You know.
shaken. He says, he says, I definitely regret that a good friend of mine is someone who I had to kill.
He stopped being that person some time ago, though.
Indeed he did. After he killed my wife.
After he fell.
Indeed. So,
It's got sad.
Let us drink to her memory then.
I toast
I'll have some toast.
to the ex-queen.
I look at the Eladrin and see if she's pissed.
No, she just her hair seems to grow a little bit more white in color.
Okay.
And she also raises her goblet.
Some
but
Green
slightly-
Lantern bullshit up in here, it's good to know.
But slightly not necessarily in an elegant fashion, more just kind of like
Eladrin's bitches in disguise.
as you, I'm assuming you all raise your glass, and then he just downs it all in one.
I do the same.
And as you
Are
do
you
so,
it seemingly continues to flow into your mouth more than you expected the goblet to be. And you kind of like peek over, and you see he's just there with the goblet like attached to his.
I'm going to turn it like you would turn a bottle of wine and try to cut off as it like is. You know how when you're pouring a bottle of wine, sometimes you turn it in order to avoid. I'm gonna like. Okay. Try to do that. So you make a move for it. A sleight of hand or something?
I guess sleight of hand.
Acrobatics.
Acrobatic, whichever one is higher. I guess your highest.
They are the same value.
Alright. Your highest dex 1.
Oh, I mean, if we're just using dexterity saving throw, it's different, but like acrobatics would be a 16.
Yeah. It wouldn't be that hard. It's just kind of like getting it and then placing it back on the table. And as you do, it's like, oh, hey, it's full again.
Let the
Up
record
to the
stand.
right.
again!
Let the record stand. I'm still drinking.
Yeah. You and Elder Kernan are still drinking.
They're out of competition.
I take a sip.
You take a sip.
You're just like.
And then. Leshanna.
I take a little bit more than a sip. I kind of do the same thing, but much.
Nothing to put green in your hair like a stiff drink.
She's
I
a
think
lady.
it's wine, so I like I'm holding it, so it's perfect. So I can
Oh, you have wine? I have cider. It's the halfling thing to do, like really good
Is it
cider.
from the town of Dixon?
Dixon cider.
It's from my Granny Smith.
Would you like to get some Dixon cider?
Why?
Fuck off!
Alright.
Fuck off!
If you're continuing to drink, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Should I also do the same?
If you're continuing to drink...
I took another one, so I might as well.
Well, I mean, are you drinking spiked apple cider?
Yes.
Well, then
it's
yes.
hard cider.
17.
Constitution?
Overall with mod?
Yes.
18 mod.
Okay. So the base is 10, so you all pass. Alright. Next is 12 if you
Oh,
want to continue.
I took 2 and then I'm not drinking contest this because I don't want to get
I'd
wasted.
love
but
to
like,
continue.
Alright. He still has his cup up there. So
honor compels me to inform you that the recording's been going on for like an hour and a half, and we're getting to the point where
Yes.
I'm going to start feeling uncomfortable if we don't cut off in like the next 5 minutes so I can save the progress we have.
Alright. Then we'll finish this and then we will stop.
Yes. I'd like to continue drinking.
Alright. Next check is DC 12. So roll Constitution saving.
That's on 9 o'clock.
Oh, also you have advantage because you have advantage against poison. Because alcohol in large amounts is poison.
17 again.
Alright. Natural 20 for him. So the next one is 16. He automatically saves because he rolled a natural 20.
Can I tell that this is turning into a drinking contest?
Oh, absolutely.
10.
10 overall.
Yeah.
Heroism wouldn't boost his saves, it would boost his health.
It would.
I was considering putting a spell on you to like help you, or like to just
You-
make this more intense, but
you
like
have
I can't.
advantage, so you roll twice, take the higher of the two.
Okay.
Oh, he has advantage because he's a half dragon?
Because he has advantage against poison. Or
15.
you just under it, so you fail. And he auto-critted, so he succeeded the next one. As you see, you get to the point where it like starts overflowing, and you're like, oh shit. You just
Is my hat wet?
roll an investigation check to see if you can find your hat.
Fucker! Yeah, it's gonna be a 5. Nope.
Can I roll to find this hat?
Yeah.
I looked.
Do you tell the others or whisper to anyone that your hat is
I'm
missing?
gonna like look over at the elf and just pat my head and then
The
look
Eladrin or
confused.
the elf?
The Eladrin.
You can
That's a drow!
You can look
Well,
at
they're
you.
both
Look, you
elf.
I can notice that you like here.
Are you also evidently looking for it?
Yeah, if you
Alright,
want me to.
roll investigation.
19
Fuck.
plus
Yep.
nothing.
Yeah, you find it. And looking up, it's actually on a
It's on a pig.
It's on a third tier on top of the boar on the highest platter. Looking at this boar, it is actually made of pure gold.
How did
It
we
is
not notice
gem
that before?
encrusted.
How did we not notice that before?
I wanna steal it.
This boar is basically like 3 times your size.
DM.
Yes.
I look to the chieftain and say, "Damn, you're a fine drinking buddy. We should go out sometime."
He says, well, first we have to see if you can beat me in the ring. Obviously I can beat you at drinking. I've been alive a little bit longer.
That's true, I am only 18.
Can I make an acrobatics check to effectively get my hat while like perching on top of my chair without knocking over a bunch of the food?
This is basically
too
think of it as
tall.
like tier, and then like ceiling high is top tier. And the pig is on top of that.
Are you gonna
And
go
the hat is on
I
top
look
of
at
it.
I look at the lady in waiting and I just say, when it is our turn for the dinner to end, can I get that back?
As you point up to it, she's like, "Oh, I didn't even notice it." And she kind of points to it, like
The pig jumps down and gives me
Basically,
the hat.
she like twirls her fingers a little bit and then points at the hat, and the hat slowly, on like some sort of wind, as she points it down, and it lands directly on your head, just kind of like in like the Robin Hood
While
fashion
this is
where,
going on, I'm trying to look at her to see what motion she performs in order to cast spells.
The Guardian Leviosa!
Is she whispering? Is she using an
Actually,
object?
no.
Is she
She
looking
just-
from a book?
she just appears to be looking at the
Swish
object
and
and moving her finger a little bit, and
Fucking
then,
sorceress!
and then
She's a
pointing
motherfucking
it
sorceress.
down, and then bringing it down on top of your head. And then at that point, Elder Kernan stands up. From his sitting position, still the same height.
Oh, he's not inebriated. He's just like.
No, man, he rolled a nat 20 on his last one.
Motherfucker!
And he says, "Alright, onto the throne room. Let's get you your payment, you cunts." And he starts walking off at a little bit of a bound as he's sort of a little inebriated or intoxicated.
I hang back and then go to the Eladrin, and once again.
The Eladrin is almost behind him at this point.
Oh, okay.
As he gets up, she also gets up and is walking
Can
almost
I
in
like
stride.
then try to move forward and get her attention and like a once payment's done, I'll get to that. Yeah.
We'll stop the recording there as he starts taking you guys back to
Go
the
get our
crossroads,
I'd like
and
to
then
catch
down
up.
the middle corridor, down the stairs, and into the throne room.
I'd like to
I'll show you
catch up
guys
to
in
a-
a
And
second.
we
Start
will
making
get our
small
coin
change
when
talk.
we get back.
The police go over to the neighbor's house, and they knock on his door. The guy answers.
What's
And
that
they
wee
go-
little shites want?
They go, "Sir, are you aware that there's murder next door? And oh my God, why are you covered in blood?" The guy goes, "I'm not covered in blood. I don't know what you're talking about." The police are going, "Sir, you are very clearly covered in blood. Is everything okay?" He's like, "Officer, I don't know what you're talking about." And they go, "Sir, may we come in, go to your bathroom, and show you you are covered in blood?" And he goes,
Did he
"Oh,
fucking
sure."
murder the police?
And he blind.
So they go in, they go to the bathroom, and they go, "Sir, do you see the blood on your shirt?" "Officers, I have no idea what you're talking about." "Sir, have you done any drugs in the past recently?" "No."
That's it? That's a terrible
it.
punchline for the joke.
Oh, I got a good one if you want a bad punchline.
No! Shut the fuck up, you motherfucking cunt.
Alright, and now we start the recording time!
Wait, I
Yay!
want to know the other
No.
I do
You
want-
don't, because it's gonna take us the entire fucking night. Alright. Whenever you are ready, just give me the go.
The recording's been going since you started talking about jokes.
Gora! Alright. Welcome.
Deported.
Pretty much.
Fresh start now!
Alright. Welcome back, everybody, to the fucking shit that this night has been. Alright. We're gonna try to keep it a little more on task. But other than that, nah. Keep it on a little more task.
So what do we want to handle? Well, payment.
As you were being led into the throne room as I pull it up in...
Just post it to the group chat.
Because not everyone has their phone out, so I'm just...
Yeah.
Some of us were trying to be polite about it, but like, I could get it real quick.
My phone's off because the battery's almost dead.
What type of phone is it?
That's fine. I don't know if you can see it from that far
You're
away.
fucked, buddy. Sorry. I have an Android charger
I
on
wish I could turn it. I don't know why it isn't turning.
because screen rotation is off.
Yeah.
But
You have to enable it as an Android feature.
No, I did it, and it's turning. It's
So,
not turning, is it? I know, I did the same thing, James. That should be the the feature that does it.
Well, shit. We've been had.
Quality content is being made right
Also,
here.
did you know the new iPhone X line? All of their screens are being made by Samsung because Samsung is currently the only people with the production capacity to meet their demand.
Nice.
That's hilarious.
Apple taking Samsung products.
No, Apple buying Samsung products at a high price.
Mm-hmm.
That's why like the X's are what, $300 or $400? Or is it more than that? It's
More
way more than that.
The
It's
X
a lot.
is like $999.
That because they're getting charged $300, $400 per
And the
screen.
iPhone 8 is like $600.
All right. So now we're going to bring it back in. You were brought into this very ornate throne room. It's a throne. I'll post a picture of it. They've all seen it. It's very, very large. Besides the glass in the back, instead of a scenery, it appears to be molten rock, just streaming down the back. Near.
Kronos!
Yeah. All right. Lamia. Yeah, that's her name. I was like, wait, did I get that wrong? Yeah, it's Lamia.
Lamia.
Yeah.
Millennia!
Lamia and
Lady.
Elder Kernan. Lady Lamia. Princess Lamia.
It's not what I said, but okay.
Yeah, I know. No. Princess Lamia and Elder Kernan go up to the throne, as there are two there. They're equal in height.
Does she sit in Queen's throne?
She does not. She stands next to the king.
That would have been one saucy moment right there.
And she leans back, cross-legged in the chair like, yes.
No, she sits on the king's throne.
She fucking undoes
The
her
king.
pant and just goes like, fucking finally. I can lounge.
Undoes the belt. The single belt. Alright.
Do you know how much work levitating a hat off of a golden
Off of a golden pig.
Do you know how much work it is to summon a golden pig from the where I summon them from?
The abyss. Alright. And they walk you, the guards that are in the throne room, there are maybe 10 or so. They bring you forward up to, I'd say there's a circle in the middle that seems to be onyx. And it seems to be an onyx circle with gold inlay, depicting again the sigil of the, sigil of the
City.
hammer.
Could that
The
be
sigil of the city.
the part of
The people's
the
hammer.
hold that the ley line is most used?
Hmm?
Could that
What?
be like... There's a ley line over the hold, right?
One, ley line. Two,
Ley line,
wrong hole.
yes.
Wrong hole?
I
No,
really
this
said
is-
wrong hole. Like,
This is where the ley line is?
From what you can tell from your research, yes.
Oh, shit.
Is that large sigil circle in the middle of the floor possibly where the ley line is?
That would be an Arcana check.
I don't fucking have Arcana.
And you wouldn't know about the ley lines, would you?
No.
No,
I was
out
just
of
asking out of character.
Damn.
13 plus mod?
Mod 13.
Okay.
My character probably would
I
have
mean,
been like,
you
"That's a
would
nice
know
circle."
that the ley line runs through this area. You're not sure if this is the exact point, but
You asked them
this would
directly.
seem like where it might be.
You just like directly ask the chieftain, "Hey, does the ley line pass through here?"
What's a ley line? Oh, are you setting up for a wrestle?
So what's the land line for? Guards kind of standing at the ready, but just more as in fact of like, in case
Doing
something
the
happens.
Like guards do.
Like guards do. They're guarding in their guardy way. The chieftain, they're guarding in their guardy way, in their garden. They're gird. The chieftain summons his hand in the direction to your left, his right, and from the left turn corridor there are
Left turn?
the leftist,
Leftmost corridor.
the leftmost corridor. There are 5 servants. I had to count. There are 5 servants that come out, each holding a tray with a very ornately decorated satchel on it.
Did you have to count with your fingers?
I did have to count with my fingers.
Are you kidding me?
I am wondering.
He's God, not Einstein.
Yes.
Jesus
I'm
Christ.
Crad.
Get the fuck out of this room. There is a perfectly good window right there. Make good use of it.
Oh, I will.
Sir.
Is
You
it
can't
because you
open
made
it.
an SAO reference?
Yes.
I did.
What about an SAOA reference?
You don't get the window, you get the wall. Make it work.
Just like how they made that word.
Oh my lord.
You fucking failed!
Alright.
You killed us all!
Each of the servants lays down the platter and takes their satchel off and hands each one to each of you. You definitely immediately recognize that this is just satchels of gold.
I look in it, platinum and gold.
Is
What are
there
we looking at here?
It seems to be all platinum. There are a few gold pieces strewn in, but more of just the adding up the little bits. Possibly that he was just kind of like, I mean, platinum's hard to come by, so it's like, here are a shit ton of gold dollars, and then, oh hey, here's like some gold coins to like sprinkle over the top.
Can I use the Harper's Bar as like a sort of bank? Is that a thing that they do?
You would assume that you could do that. There is some sort of place you could store your gold, probably the Sanctum of Ion.
Oh. That would work.
And, I mean, you've come from there, so that would make
I have
sense.
to write that down now. It's like, Sanctum of Ion.
And he says, so, I guess the only things now that we are in official business. Yes, here is your reward, as he gestures towards the satchels. Here is your reward for bringing Mosias here.
Thank you. Does this conclude our business, or would you have more of us?
This may conclude our business personally.
You
However,
mean professionally?
professionally and personally, as this was a personal vendetta. I would suggest, though, that possibly you investigate the local bars, as I do not know knowledge of all of the troubles of this town. But
Give me an investigate your life.
there are a decent number of things that are going wrong. However, obviously there are a decent number of things going wrong. However, there is one that is slightly more important than the other.
I have a question.
Yes.
I just realized, how good of a smith am I? Because if I was brought up and taught by
The best
what
smith in
the
city.
Dwarven King says is the best he can think of,
Well,
how fucking good am I?
how old are you?
18. Most of my
You're,
childhood
I
was
would
there.
say you're at least a...
He's
not
an accomplished
a master.
journeyman.
Yes. You're at least above apprentice.
Yeah. You're an accomplished journeyman.
At least,
Like,
realistically, you're above apprentice. In his eyes, you're still like...
Bitch!
Just slightly above bitch.
Isn't that everybody in
Pretty much.
eyes?
The only other person who... The only people he would not see as bitch is Elder Kernan, who could easily best him in a
the only time that you're ever going to become a master in his eyes is when he's on his deathbed and he's like, hammer up my soul.
Pretty much.
Passes on his
Put
hammer.
your soul into... Put your
His
soul...
soul into his hammer, which he gives to you.
Yeah, that would be essentially... He's waiting for you to make your master craft piece. He has already made at least 3 or 4.
I'll give you a hint. It should be a dragon shield.
A dragon shield would be very impressive. And
So,
metal as fuck,
could you-
but also scaly.
Could you make me...
You would scale the ranks.
James is immediately like, can I use your masterpiece?
No!
Make me
Hey,
a
man.
dragon shield.
Masterpieces are looking at around like 50,000 plus. As in also enchanted.
I don't know
He
how
can-
to enchant.
Thug Ember has also the knowledge to enchant his
You know who knows how to
Yes,
enchant?
I know this.
Bitch.
Yeah.
Bitch the enchantress.
Yeah, pretty much bitch the enchantress.
I'm like 5, so I don't really have the muscle mass to hammer in a piece of iron, so I just try my best at enchanting.
I tried my best at binding the souls of the fallen to the weapons that you shall use to create more souls.
Pretty much.
I also made boots that made you run a tiny bit faster, but it's not really noticeable. And I'm not really sure it works. And I have a sock that moves faster, but that's just for me.
Alright.
Don't ask why it's stiff!
Alright.
I'm
says-
5!
Continuing
Bitch,
on,
go back in your room!
continuing on to personal business.
Professional? Personal?
This is personal, but also professional.
Damn it, King, make up your mind!
This is perceptional.
Perception.
This is so personal and professional. Shit, I might have still sort of a clothing line about it.
He goes on to say, my people are actually, I have actually set, wow, voices again. I have set a curfew in the city at 10 p.m.
So I don't incinerate any more of my citizens.
Would it be terribly difficult to ask for a permit, which gives us immunity to that curfew as we are working around the city? Air quotes are not included, but like, as king, you could certainly give us paperwork that we can show to the guardsmen and avoid any trouble from violating the curfew.
And this is what I am getting to.
Oh,
Jesus fucking Christ, let me talk!
sorry.
But yes,
Who the
indeed,
fuck is Jesus Christ?
that will definitely be part of,
Carpenter, you say?
that would definitely be part of what you would be getting.
Has he
So-
built any good houses? Across, you say?
Your curfew is 10 p.m.
He carried it all by himself.
My people are now actually afraid to go out at night.
For fear they might be incinerated by the king.
There are many people who have awoken in their sleep to find their children at their throats with knives. Not their children anymore. And apparently it is due to a green orb that comes from the forest.
That's real bad. Is this news to me?
This is very much news to you. You've never heard of such an occurrence.
Green ore, he said?
Green orb.
I'm
How
not trusting
big is the
bitch
orb?
anymore.
I personally have not seen it myself.
I do not trust bitch.
She's the one who actually informed me of it.
Double
Bitch
trust.
is a girl? I don't know.
She was not the first one to inform me of
seemed
it.
to-
However, she was the one
Bitchy.
who told me that this might be of priority over other things.
Wait, bitch has connections to the chieftain?
Okay, he's talking about elf bitch. He's talking about blacksmith bitch.
You can't. The bitch is just the mob. Alright.
Young
Getting back
bitch,
on
big
track.
bitch.
Getting back on track.
Also, out of character,
Yes.
no one has asked him about the execution. Like, at all.
Nothing from me.
You have.
None of you guys have asked.
I'm
him
going to
about
have to
the
tastefully do that. And you may want
Other than like him talking about the dead wife.
No, the question... I have a question. Just
Yes.
I'll let him finish his idea first.
I would certainly be willing to give you a permit if you were willing to at least investigate this green orb. It apparently has been terrifying my people.
And if we were to find anything, we would, of course, report to you and be appropriately compensated.
Absolutely. Many people have actually died
Where's the last sight of this orb?
last
Oh,
night.
it was around.
Last night. As in, this has been happening pretty much for the last 6 months.
Oh. This definitely shouldn't be news to the Harpers unless the government's keeping a real hush. And even then...
This is very, very low push. We've been trying
We don't want every fucking parent to lock up their kid for fear
I mean,
that
I
they might turn on
wasn't
them.
saying that aloud,
Shit.
but like if that's what he's interjecting with.
Interjecting with, definitely. This is what we know about the orb. Apparently, it comes in generally around midnight, but we keep curfew at 10:30. The orb comes from the north, from the Strawberry Grove, and passes through the city. It somehow manages to get underneath doors, even though they are locked, windows shut, even stone doors.
Any sign of teleportation?
Do you think it could just be
Most of this is just what we've heard.
light?
This is mostly just rumors from what we've heard from the guard as well as the common folk.
Shit.
They see it pass through doors, they see it come out, and then later the next morning, generally, their kid is a scarecrow, and their parents are murdered.
Where did they put the scarecrow? At the strawberry field?
We don't know where the scarecrows are coming from.
No, I mean, where are the scarecrows found?
The scarecrows are found in their parents' home. The scarecrows are the children, or what remains of them.
So this started when?
Started
6 months ago.
6 months ago.
Jesus Christ, did you
So, I'm just out of curiosity. 'cause
what has
I'm
been
just wondering
attempted
because-
so far?
Well, we've tried following it, but it manages to outpace.
So, I'm just curious. This doesn't have anything really to do with the topic at hand, but with your mistress, lady friend, I'm sorry, I'm lacking the proper term.
She just kind
being
of
Mistress
of
waiting?
being of a rare race of elf, especially in the enemies existence. How long have you two known each other?
I personally haven't even known that their race existed until about 3 years ago.
When you met her?
I met her a year ago.
How long has she been living with you? I'm just out of...
Roughly 8 months.
Is this really the right time to be insinuating that the elfin bitch is directing a spear to murder children? Do you want to piss off your boss? Your magic has literally gotten you almost
Thank you,
killed
I was
at
fine.
least twice.
You two are really cute together.
You almost died twice in as many sessions. Stop it. First one, the fire happened, and then the other time when you suggested that she was...
He does also say that there are oftentimes we are able to contain and capture the scarecrows, other times the scarecrows disappear.
Are there any survivors of interrupted attempts?
Interrupted attempts.
You say that parents have woken with the children holding knives to their throat. That means that there was an interrupted attempt.
Possibly. I mean, there might be one or two, but scarecrows are pretty fucking scary.
That's the name,
okay,
Scarecrow.
so then, I'm sorry. The thing I'm trying to ask is, at this point, are the children already scarecrows, or have we stopped children from being turned entirely at all? In any instance.
We honestly don't know how to even... We know that they keep turning into scarecrows. At least one house, if not two, every night has been visited.
Right, I'm trying to nail down. You said that there were a few parents who woke up with children holding knives to their throats. Were those children
Scarecrows?
animated scarecrows?
Yes.
So they were turned
The only
scarecrows
reason that
prior to the murder.
The only
attempt.
reason that we know that they were their children was afterwards, after we had killed them, we have found what was left of their remains and possibly identification just on their bodies. Stuffed teddy bears, things like that. Lockets. We have not found a way to...
Foreskin.
Reverse.
we haven't found a way to
I'm saying the
revive them.
microphone isn't hearing you too well.
Alright. But generally, once they're turned scarecrow, they either run off in the direction of the strawberry forest. Actually, let me redact that.
Retcon!
Retcon!
They apparently have been... That's the direction that they interpret that the orb has been returned to. The
the scarecrows actually are somewhere still in the city, the ones that they have not found and killed.
Oh my god, there are just child corpses that have been stuffed with straw running around with knives in the act.
Yes.
6 months and nothing has been done?
Unfortunately, we can't do everything.
Where the fuck are you?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just like,
Yeah.
but like, 6 months and you haven't contacted a mages guild or attempted to find any other intermediary means other than the 4 mercenaries who have been in your employ for what, like a week?
I haven't really had anyone. Because generally, they're either killed or haven't returned.
Do the scarecrow children come around the same time the orc does?
Absolutely. I'm assuming they're the result of the orb. The result of the orb.
Assault of the orb!
I mean the ones that were happening before, like not the ones that the orc creates.
It creates all of them, is the implication.
What?
The orb is what first started this whole fucking mess.
Okay, here's what's going on. Kids are being kidnapped and turned into
I
scarecrows.
know, I understand that.
So what are you suggesting? That there are scarecrows that started...
Not even necessarily
Are
kidnapped.
there
They're in their own
scarecrows
homes.
that you have yet to kill?
Oh, absolutely. We
That
haven't
are
killed all
roaming
of them.
around, not when they're old.
Where was the last reported scarecrows site?
Last night.
Where?
Where?
You're being really.
The pit!
You're being.
The pit!
Back to the
probably-
pit! Yes!
He kind of pulls out a map and ports towards like the...
Ports towards.
He toys with his massive
Port towards the
rotund belly.
merp.
One of the
he
servants-
gesticulates with his rotund belly, portlying.
Oh yes. He says that probably the northern portion, northeastern, so closer to Sweet Temptations corner and Portugal.
I have an idea. Let's put up flyers challenging the scarecrows at the pit, and then we'll wait for them there.
You're gonna fight
If you
Brienne
do-
How
and
many
children.
sightings have there been?
I
There's
could.
children that's
One
been
every
dead.
night?
I don't think they're
There's
gonna
been
be
at least
reading
one
those
every night.
posters.
If they could read in the first place.
They could be able to read.
So 6 months.
Supernatural
Are
force.
you able to
like-
read?
30
Can
days.
you give me the past
Yes.
5 locations?
Good,
How
right the
long have you
fire.
been able to read?
The past 5.
Good,
If you
right the
want
fire.
to-
I'm marking them
A long while.
And
You
how
can just
long
tell me
how
where
long
I
while
can
it
look
be?
Alright,
We'll just-
2 conversations at once needs to not happen.
So one would be
Aha, I'm getting shit done for once, I guess.
You're getting it worked
one would be
Good.
here.
I'm literally
The
going
past 5 nights.
Yeah.
A settlement needs your help. I'll mark it on your map.
1, 2, 3.
Press him. It's okay.
Alright, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Can I see that map?
It's kind of hard to see, but there's
Hang on, I can just tell you guys.
Just swing it over.
Just photograph it and post it to the group chat.
Do that.
Fucking.
It's kind of hard to see.
Cool.
Fucking.
And who's taking Stig? Stig's chair.
Stiggs
At this
chased
point-
after his dog.
Yeah, Stiggs chase after his
No,
dog.
I'm right.
Stiggs
There are
is-
5 pouches.
There
You
are.
currently hold.
Oh,
Yes.
I'll take sticks.
I should not hold on to it because I have a history of it melting onto my body.
A very recent
You're
history.
not wrong,
Very
lad.
recent.
Wait, is
history.
it that recent? Have you had like blacksmithing accidents where entire
Wait.
weapons just melt onto you?
Could I ask the chieftain if he saw me?
Yeah.
Wait. Oh my god, we haven't. Oh, is this how we breached the subject of the
He has
fire?
not seen you.
Shite!
I didn't.
I was very afraid that's how we were going to breach the subject of you murdered a bunch of innocent people. How do you bleed?
Do you want to ask him?
I was waiting for a lull in the conversation to ask what he intends to
So,
do with the bodies from the execution.
He, for essentially finishing up.
Bodies? There are no bodies. It's just ash.
Yeah, that counts as a corpse.
I'm just trying to say.
Funeral rites need to be performed.
Which,
Go fuck off to your pit.
How
Alex.
can we truly separate people's ash
Actually,
from each
no, I'm
other?
gonna ask
Mass
the
funeral.
king. Your Majesty.
It's a
That's a large urn.
You ever see a funeral
Your
ceremony from the
Majesty,
Titanic?
can you tell me the order of which these
Or
happen?
9/11.
I'm not exactly sure. That would be something for the guards.
Okay.
I'm just trying to keep my people in
Do you know?
Are you
Some
sinking at
semblance of
yourself to the
sanity.
point that you're bleeding, friend?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you're bleeding.
No, I'm not.
What? Yes, you are. It's on your lower arm. Lower. Other side. Like, turn it to Alex.
Yeah, you're bleeding.
Oh
Yeah,
shit!
you're
Yeah,
bleeding.
it's like right there.
Oh.
Why are you doing
Stop!
I do the same thing.
AIDS.
And then you yell at me when I,
Would you like a
Do
band-aid?
Do you have one?
Yes.
even though when I do it, I'm just like doing something else, and I'm just like,
I'm not
And when
putting on
you
a
do
band-aid,
it, you're
though.
just
That's
like-
all you do.
Yeah.
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 Oh, I can't do that.
Find someone who will.
Alex,
What?
you're right there.
lick it.
He
No.
then
He
offers
gets this
you.
one.
He then offers
Is it
you.
Hello Kitty?
Yes.
Oh, thank
Is
you.
it actually?
It's worse.
What is
It's
it?
worse. No, you'll never know, James.
It's on my fucking arm.
Why are you wiping blood onto... Oh.
Because
There are napkins on the table. Oh, wait, no, there aren't.
AIDS. All right.
my shirt is already filled with my blood. It's
He
fine.
says, apparently,
How is that worse? That's amazing.
he tells you, if you're able to complete this, I would not be able to reward you as heavily as I did with Mosias, just because that was more of a personal vendetta. But I would be willing to give you all 500 gold if you are able to contain the source. If you're able to give me information about the source, I will give you 500 gold. If you're able to kill or possibly capture and bring whatever this source is to me, I will give you all 1,000 gold.
Okay, is there
He said,
a
I
greater
will give
reward
you each
for
1,000
death,
gold.
or is there a greater reward for the killing of it? Or
Yes,
do we have
1,000 gold ahead.
We need a magic bottle,
Preferably,
Mafuba.
if you're to bring this,
and we
we
just
have
need to
a
go.
very, very
Boom.
magically innate
I got a green
person in our
lantern.
guild, or in our court, and he kind of gestures towards
It's big.
the Eladrin.
Get a fucking
How big
huge-
is the orb? Bowling ball? Golf ball?
We are not exactly
LeBron
sure.
James?
LeBron James.
Get a bag of holding.
The size has varied from roughly the size of an apple all the way up to possibly the size of maybe a
A
large...
2008 Fiat.
what they would describe as like a
Carriage?
larger version of a soccer ball.
Oh, so nothing so big as to be a
Like
holder.
you could fit it in a wicker basket,
Boulder ball.
but you could possibly fit it in a small flask as well.
I've seen some pretty big wicker baskets.
Yeah.
We need to get a magical bottle.
Oh.
So
Just go.
1,500 gold in total if you can give me information about the whereabouts, and 1,000 if you can capture and or kill it and bring it here.
So 1,500 for the group.
1,500 for the group, and I'll give you 25 gold for each scarecrow you either slay or find.
Those scarecrows are.
For every scarecrow you slay, I will give you 25
They're
gold.
already
If you
dead.
find a
Hey,
way...
half dragon out of character. Do you have a breath attack?
No.
Get your game on. Step it up.
Is there
I was only allowed
any way
to bring
possible for
over
us to bring
resistance.
back
You
from
could
the
you
scarecrow?
could perk into dragon.
That's what I was getting to. If you can find a way to bring them back from their scarecrow form, I will give you all 1,000 gold for each one you bring back.
Is there an enchantment of divinity?
If only our cleric was here.
Yeah.
Stigs!
Meanwhile, at the dog races.
He's just like...
He's in the pit doing like a circus lap with like, you know.
He has
riding his
he
dog.
has like 5 giant fucking
He's doing
orcs
horse
trying to
riding.
beat the shit out of him, but they can't catch up to the fucking dog.
No, he's doing
He's
like
not
horse
even-
racing, except he's on a dog with a bunch of other goblins who are also on dogs.
He's not
Chicken
even like
racing.
saying words. He's just like.
And then first the Stigs. How do you feel?
Okay.
Alright,
Bit loud.
so I'm going to
A
mark
bit.
this
A
down
bit.
so I know. Shit.
Oh, the
So-
reward that was promised.
Yes. So it is 500 gold for info,
Oh, that's right.
Condensation.
1,000 gold if captured. Captured / killed.
Amy, is that Sprite in there upright? In the garbage. Just check.
Why do you want that on the recording?
God damn.
Why is that important enough to say out loud?
Alright. What was the gold?
Damn.
10,000 gold captured.
It's sideways.
It's 25 for each scarecrow. For scarecrow corpse.
They just put on like a human mask on the scarecrow kids and go like, "It's Kern!"
Alright. And then once he's done walking us through the finer points of his business proposal, and once everyone's accepted, I wanted to ask about the ashes.
And it's 1,000 for each.
Brought back.
I'm gonna say turned.
What was the
Unturned.
reward for what we just did?
Yeah, unturned. Alright. The reward for what you just did is 500 gold for information about it. 1,000 gold if you capture.
No, what's in the saddlebag?
What we just
Oh,
did.
the saddlebags that you just got?
Yeah.
Looking in, you can estimate roughly about 750 gold.
Each?
75 platinum each or 750 gold each. It's an important distinction.
Oh, okay. It is...
60 platinum and
I would say
150 gold.
60 platinum, 150 gold. Just because I'm generous. So is the dwarf. Dwarves might be greedy, but you know, they gotta pay. They gotta pay. Bitches gotta pay.
A chieftain always pays these days.
Yeah.
So then once that has all been settled, I'm going to interrupt with, I realized that this did not make good topic for the dinner conversation, so I did not ask until now, but what do you intend to do with the ashes of the people from the execution?
Why do you want them? Nothing.
I'm just seeing.
If he understands what's going on,
Yes.
yeah. That's what I was afraid of.
He seems kind of like, there's like a glossy look that kind of goes over his eyes and then is like,
I did not mean for that to happen. That was very unintentional and very, very bad.
Yeah, in fact, the only people who survived that radius are standing right in front of you.
Hi.
And that's
roll
because...
a persuasion check.
What?
We're not-
That's the truth.
Roll a persuasion. Because what he believes is no one should have survived that. And he didn't notice them.
And I was like, that's because this one is half dragon.
And what did you get overall?
On persuasion, like 13. Not great.
Could I try to make some comment and say, like...
He believes you.
Okay.
But goes on to say,
I indeed intend to make restitution for any damage that I
Definitely
caused to the families
I'm just making sure
of
that
this
it's like
fine
not
home,
dripping.
as is tradition.
Is that bleeding when I put it on?
And
They will be given proper burials. I will see to that.
of course, I was more concerned with why, not to insult your authority, but why is a chieftain calling down a holy flame as opposed to a cleric who would be trained with its control? I understand that this is personal for you, and you seeing Messiahs put to death yourself was likely necessary for an amount of closure, but then why not by other means?
That was the only way to actually get rid of Osiris in that state. He was a fallen paladin.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
As a fallen paladin,
Hey, Jack.
brought back
Can you not?
by the god of death himself.
Inside? Fuck me. Yeah, it's the god of death. It's a 2 on the die.
you guys all recognize it being that, like, yes, shit comes back from the dead, but it's not a daily occurrence.
No, we have a microphone. Stop doing what you're doing. That's what I'm talking to you about. God damn. Yes, mister, I'm gonna stomp on chairs in the middle of the recording for no reason, and I'm picking all of it up on the microphone. Please stop.
Did it once.
You stepped into both chairs.
Stepped into one. Stomped into
Alrighty, kiddo
Semantics,
beans.
just cut it out.
I'm gonna kill you.
Dear Lord.
What do I do for real life annoyance?
Oh yes.
You make a sanity saving throw.
Oh no.
Anyway, so
Actually,
he seems genuine about this, I imagine.
Oh yes, he seems absolutely
Are you
genuine.
going
As in, Mosias would have probably come back.
If he had done anything other than this full measure.
Yes. As in something that even he could not control. Probably something even Lamia could not control.
The execution spot was on top of a ley line, right?
Roll an Arcana check.
No, I saw it on the map. They pointed out where the ley lines were.
The ley line went over the city.
Of course, that's the one I get. That's a 19 to Arcana.
You all of a sudden start noticing, as you're thinking about the ley lines, there's a very, very strong presence of magic in this room. Seemingly where you are.
Sigil
Correct.
circle.
Am I standing on the circle?
You are all standing in the middle of the circle. There are servants
do
also
something
with you
really
in the circle. The
ballsy?
circle is fairly large.
No.
Can I do something really ballsy?
No. What do
That
I
was
do?
2 no's.
I'm not sure what you intend to do, but we're on top of a magic fault line of flaming.
But they
You're
don't
basically
know
going to
that.
be like, I want to strike a magic match
They
on
don't
front
know
of a
that.
magic natural gas vent. That seems
Can I
unwise.
take
They
out?
wouldn't know that. You're the only one who knows that.
Can I take out my sword? Kneel, plunge my sword into the ground in front.
Oh, that would be fine. It's stone.
Oh, damn it! I was thinking it was some kind of like sigil thing.
I told you it was honest.
There's a sigil carved into the stone.
Yes.
I was gonna try to do something with that, but I don't think there's much I can
Keep
do.
that in mind. I'm not going to act on that information presently because it seems unwise.
What if you just do something to mess up the sign?
No.
The
No, you-
sigil
Yeah.
that is made of obsidian, which is a stone material harder than most steel, and even Damascus steel.
It's pretty brittle on certain angles, though.
Right, but it's also on top of a magic fault line, and I don't want to fuck with it.
But I do want to.
Get your sword.
But you-
I'll
Are
get
you
my
going to try to
hammer.
pledge allegiance
You
by
wouldn't know.
fucking with the sigil of the city? Is that...
Jack,
You're dumb.
Atomic bomb of magic.
What you should do is just, kneel proper.
you're a human paladin, correct?
You
Think rationally.
Wait, what's your alignment?
He's
I'm
an
a human.
edgy
How can I think
human
rational?
paladin.
What's your alignment?
Chaotic neutral.
Goddamn. Cat stupid.
Excuse me, I'm chaotic good. It's kind of redundant, but yeah.
I'm neutral.
you can do whatever you would like.
Yeah, good.
Okay.
Although that changes what I'm wearing.
Alright, so, bow to the king, agree to business, then go. I mean, are you gonna fight now?
That's tomorrow.
Alright.
Yes.
Is there a place for us to stay the night?
Oh yeah, you know a good inn? I mean, I live here, so I have a few ideas, but I don't know. If you're also thinking about us needing to ask around, maybe an inn in the area where you think asking around needs to be done would be useful information. 'Cause, maybe I don't know that neighborhood that well.
Probably over at the Shriekenborn in North.
Sounds delightful.
Near the
Shrieking
Sweet
Boar?
Temptations corner, right across the street. You got
Right
it.
in corner.
Can I sleep in my old bed at the blacksmith?
What? Of course you can.
I
That's
want
up to you.
I
if
want
you
to
wanna
spend-
find a way.
I want to spend
get
some of the night.
Wait, are you asking the king?
No,
if you-
I'm asking the
Okay.
dean.
All right.
We need to figure out a way to differentiate between those two, because
Yo,
that keeps
DM.
happening.
Hey, DM. Do you
Yes.
think I could sleep at the blacksmith and maybe overnight try to learn some more things from Ember?
You've been awake pretty much all day and been traveling pretty much
And
all
on
day.
fire.
Do you
And
think
on
that's
fire
a problem
pretty much
for
all
me?
Yes.
I mean,
I've been in the pit.
God damn it, the fucking pit. If you want to gain a level of exhaustion for the next day, by all means, unless you get 8 hours of sleep, then
Level
you
of exhaustion is -2 to all rolls, right?
I'm fighting.
No, it's disadvantage on all skill checks.
I'm fighting.
Not
tomorrow.
necessarily attacks, but just skill checks and
I'm fighting
General.
tomorrow.
Yeah, get a good sleep. Get a nice woman or bitch or man or whatever you
just
squid.
whatever you squid.
Squid? I don't know, man. Whatever you prefer.
Can I?
Is this in character or DM still?
This is DM. Can I sleep at the blacksmith and have bitch there telling me more and more about blacksmithing as I'm just laying there?
That doesn't that doesn't
on
work.
I was gonna say that depends on if you go.
It's like those fucking tapes.
Yeah, those
that
don't
you put
work.
earphones on, and it's just like
Those don't work.
2 + 2 = 4.
They can influence your
2 + 2
dreamscape, but they you can't retain the
Well,
information.
Actually,
you
it's
are
good
4.
here.
Alright.
It depends on when you start listening to it.
I can always try.
You can't learn
Bitch
from
can
them.
be persistent.
Is there
They
anything
can't
else you'd
affect
like
your
to do?
personality, though. Like how you act.
I'll just sleep at that.
Anyway.
Is there anything else that you guys would like to do before you are dismissed?
I mean, I was going to speak with the Eladrin, but that was after business was concluded.
Can I
Yes.
fucking go to the bathroom?
As in real right now?
No.
Oh, absolutely.
Chieftain, do you have a toilet somewhere?
Castle. Yeah, I use the
I
dungeon.
mean, absolutely. I mean, we've got chamber pots all over the place.
It
If you
just
wanna
pulls down his trousers on the Sancho.
Pulls out a thing from underneath to throw.
Can you point me to the closest bathroom, please?
There's probably a wash closet down the hall, 3 doors down. You can't miss it. And he just kind of
Smells like ass.
Yeah, he has one of the servants kind of guide you in the direction of where the washroom is.
Alright. Unnecessary trips. I'm trying to RP as much as I can.
And you will get experience for it, even if your RP is literally shit.
Amy, anything?
You now have a proficiency in pooping.
Goddamn. Only the shits.
You can now poop at will.
Plus 0.1% to squat training.
Roll for athletics.
Is there a certain family you want us to talk to before we leave?
Not before we leave.
Not before, before we leave, do you want to tell us about, any certain families that you find particular that would know anything?
Yeah, are there any particular contacts you think we should talk to about the scarecrow thing, or just...
Other than the guard?
figure
Or
it
do you
out?
have a specific
I'd
guard
say
in mind?
Probably just talk to the guard. You could probably ask any guard.
Yep.
Just fucking go to the city.
They're all the fucking same.
They're all the same NPC.
Out of character, I think I will
Unsure.
try to ask one of ours.
Okay.
Later.
If you can find them, then absolutely.
What do you mean? I'll go back to headquarters and be like, hey,
Oh yeah.
I'm doing this quest to get in closer.
Jack,
Give me info and
anything?
contact. If I can help me out here.
All right. You go to the bathroom.
Yes.
You come back.
I wash my hands first.
Well,
savage.
With what water? No. Okay.
With wine.
All right.
Bring me a drink.
You use the
Celebrate.
restroom. You properly wash yourself.
I mean, that would actually probably be the healthiest thing that you can do is wash your hands with alcohol.
Yeah. Pretty much. All right. Is there anything?
Sure, okay.
Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Chieftain,
Aye, lad.
I'm looking forward to that fight.
I'll have my guards get you in the morning.
Where should the rest of us meet to witness such a spectacle?
I'll get my guards to get you in the morning.
Meet at Moradin's Hall.
At what time?
Noon.
Noon?
Do you know where that is?
Nin.
You would.
Okay.
It's a
Moradin's
it's
Hall,
a
yeah.
massive war temple in the middle. Well, not
Wait,
a war
isn't that
temple.
where the...
It's the dwarven god's temple in the middle of the city.
Okay, out of character.
Yes.
Isn't that where we had the execution?
Yep.
Right in front of Morden's Hall, yes.
Yep.
So you would definitely know where that is.
But not in the pit.
No, this is in the pit.
Otherwise, if the execution was in the pit, instead of a floor of sand, there's now a floor of glass.
If that was in the pit, then yes, but it was not in the pit.
I know. I was stating...
Only above the glass ceiling. It's fine. Alright. Well, if that concludes our business, then I'll be seeing you all tomorrow.
I
Bright
bow
and
and
early.
then look to Lady Sylwarin, and I'm just like expecting. Like I don't know where she wants to talk.
Okay. What do you guys do?
We can talk in my bedchamber.
Damn straight we can.
Are you now
guys-
a lesbian, old woman?
I think that was the intention from the beginning.
Once you're a certain age, you want to experience a couple of things in life, you know? A couple of new
It seems
things.
this
I'm
rest
just
of these
barely
servants
over the
and
hill.
people are filtering
This
know
seems
yours.
like the only chance I could
Bet an elf.
Are you
be
staying?
with an Eladrin.
Where are you going?
The cockiest sons of bitches this side of the universe.
The librarian's tavern?
When did I turn into Captain Zap Brandon?
What is it, the squealing?
The khakis sons of
Squealing
bitches
war.
side of the
Squealing
universe.
war.
Alright.
What time
Or
is
just
it?
write this down.
I mean,
In game.
You wrote shrieking board first.
Shrieking. Thank you.
Shrieking board.
Thank you. Because I'm writing this down because some of this stuff is not on the map.
I've been
so I was
writing
writing
to-
shit
Hey,
down.
Alex.
Yes.
Do I play the same crotchety innkeeper at the Shrieking Boar? No.
No.
We would get nothing done.
No, we would not. I know. Alright, shrieking. I mean, we have an hour left. So.
What time in the game is it roughly?
In
Like
game, it's
dinner?
roughly 8 o'clock.
Like is it nighttime?
Yes, this has taken course over the past 3,
This has taken
if not
course.
4 hours.
Okay, so by the time we get out there, I'll have perfect vision. Got it.
Yes.
It's dark.
And yeah,
I'll have perfect vision.
So as everyone starts filtering out, where are you going? Shrieking board?
I'm probably going to just. I'm going to walk around town and do like some investigation to see if I can find.
She gets caught by the orb.
Okay.
do we want to do initiative to see who goes first again?
Well, I just want to make sure. Well, yes, but I want to see where people go. And you are going to Rothux, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So initiative is D6. So
Oh.
roll D6. Take the lower, or the lower the better.
That's a 1.
3.
So 1, 1,
Reroll.
3, 3. I'm gonna have you two reroll first, just to see who goes first. Lower goes
6.
3. Okay, so you go first.
Second.
Reroll
5.
6.
God
Alright.
damn it.
So it's just gonna go from James over. All right. So you are
That's
going
pretty easy.
where?
The inn.
The inn. All right.
Which in
The shrieking boars.
Do people who want to go to the Shrieking Boar just share his turn?
No, but I'm going around. Then we'll end up at shooting.
Are you going straight to the Shrieking Boar or are you going to the
Let's
blacksmith?
go to the blacksmith.
Cool. I'm gonna get a drink real quick.
Where's the blacks?
I'm gonna get a drink real quick.
Where's the blacksmith?
Go get balls deep in a Shrieking Boar.
All right.
While shooting
In a squealing hog while firing a rifle into the air. All right, James, Mr. the Jack. You spend the better part of an hour traveling to the Shrieking Boar. It is not that hard once you get within the vicinity of the Sweet Temptations Corner Emporium that you notice that there's definitely a very, very rowdy dwarven bar in the distance. Hey, guess what? It's time to finally change the music. Whee!
You hear, ya wee little shite, every 30 seconds for the rest of the night.
Pretty much.
Ya wee little shite. Hi, ya wee little shite.
Alright. So you enter in, and it's just loud and boisterous. You can barely hear your own thoughts over the amount of just people in this bar. It's even hard to even find a spot to stand or get away through the crowd. So, what would you like to do?
Okay. I'm going to try to snoop. So.
Okay.
I'm going to go up to the bar.
Okay.
I forgot I have to like enunciate because of the mic.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna have to be a little bit
You're also
I'm
really quiet.
I'm really tired. So
Speak up.
Yeah.
yeah.
You're definitely gonna have to speak up.
So I'm gonna go up to the bar and I'm gonna ask the bartender for just a mug of the best ale they have.
Okay.
Just actually, I'm gonna ask for a price for
For a price. Okay. You see this little stocky dwarf woman lumber about, and she says, "Aye, a wee lass. There'd be like 30 gold."
Oh. What's your cheapest ale?
Probably like a copper, but it tastes like piss.
Yeah, I'll take the 30 gold. I'll get a mug of that, please.
Alright, she hands you an entire bottle of like top shelf beer. It's actually in a cask all on its own, and she hands you a stopper and says, "Alright, you wee little shite," and just like slams it in with her bare fist. She says, 30 gold?
I'll give her the 30 gold.
Gotta be a little loud, bro.
I'll give her the 30 gold.
Alright.
I don't know what you
She takes
expected
it,
him to
scrapes it off
say.
the
He
table, puts it into her apron, and says, "Pleasure doing with business with you, lad." And she continues on her way.
Pleasure doing it with ya.
Pleasure
So-
doing you.
Can I
Pleasure meeting you in this intimate fashion.
Can
If we
I
didn't
ask
have
her
the
if
money
she's heard
on
any
the table,
of
I would
the,
hit this table to
um,
not go to 12 or something.
Can I ask her if she's heard of any rumors about the scarecrows?
Oh, absolutely.
What?
Rumors of the scarecrows. She kind of goes off on a tangent about how her nephew's uncle's wife's brother-in-law, who was twice removed, somehow was killed in a scarecrow incident.
Inside check.
What? You monster.
20.
Yeah, she seems to be really telling the truth. She goes on to say, like, it's roughly like the size of a small, maybe like a small grapefruit.
What is?
The orb.
Okay.
And it can turn almost it can turn an entire house of children into scarecrows, like with ease.
Has she seen where, like, this orb comes from?
She says it comes from the strawberry grove. From the north, most definitely.
Is there a particular pattern? Does it go to houses it's been to before?
Never.
Never. Is there a certain... Does she see the thing every night?
She sees it pass by her in pretty much every night.
At
now.
what time?
Midnight.
What time is it now?
It's roughly, it took you an hour to get there. It was 8, it's 9. I'd say probably by the time she gets to the part telling you about this, probably 9:30.
Okay.
It comes out around midnight, so you have about 2.5 hours.
Does she know of a fast way to get word around the city?
How could she?
Because I love you.
I mean, it's a pretty fucking big city.
To specific people and locations I know where they are.
I'm pretty sure you probably could.
How long would that take?
Well, it takes you about maybe an
Like, if
hour.
I sent it now.
If you sent it now, you'd probably get it before midnight.
Okay.
Just barely, though.
How do I do that?
She kind of like looks
Can
around.
I send a raven?
She looks around the bar and kind of like gestures to a group in the corner that seems to be more magically innate.
Right.
Oh,
Seemingly wearing robes and shit. They seemingly wear robes and shit.
okay, so I explained. Can I explain to them to go seek these guys out?
The ravens?
No,
No.
the
Oh.
people.
Telling those three.
Telling these three to come to this inn before midnight.
I mean, that was the plan. I just knew.
And then
I would assume.
And also,
I'm exhausted.
Yeah, I
was
was falling
also
asleep.
in the letter
Most of
explained
my front
about
was
the place.
cooked.
That every
Are you
night.
going to try to fight this in tonight? Because that's a terrible idea.
No, I'm just trying to get
We're
us
all
all together in one
exhausted.
place and investigate.
I'm already
And-
I'm a horrible person to investigate. Just let me rest so I can fight.
Can I also ask the lady if I can... Wait, if I can sleep for 2 hours, get a short rest, and then have her specifically wake me up at 11:30.
I mean, absolutely. If you can even find a fucking room.
Do you have room?
Not currently. She gestures towards the entirely full inn.
Have you seen the fucking crowd, you little shine?
Do you have room behind the bar?
We have walking room.
Make a persuasion check.
Have you applied for a Chester's roll?
Oh, Jesus. Persuasion, you said?
Yes.
Mod 17.
For a little bit of gold, probably.
How much? 10? 15?
As soon as you
15
say that,
will
she's
do.
like, absolutely 15. 15 would be nice.
Hey, I have gold to spare, I don't care.
Alright, dumbass.
Me and my 12 gold.
Hey, I don't have the 1,200 gold to afford plate mail from that really good blacksmith. Oh, fuck it, I can burn 15 gold. I'm rich.
Yeah.
Dumbass.
How much is 60 platinum in gold?
600 gold.
You could either do platinum. Basically think 1 platinum is 10 gold.
I'm already past halfway there.
But
That's from a very, very generous reward for a job.
yeah, he spent 30 gold on a single.
Yeah, and if we can find a way to turn the scarecrows back into...
It's an entire, small cask, but it's
If
himself.
If we can turn those kids into... Or the scarecrows back into kids, we get 1,000 gold for each scarecrow. I'm not worried.
Mm-hmm.
I can't read lips, at all.
Same.
Alright.
She still tries.
So, is that all you plan on doing, or do you want to continue asking?
Right,
questions?
just to heal it
Sleeping.
all.
Alright, so
For
you're
2
sleeping
hours.
for the next 2 hours. Alright. Do you talk to the other mage people, or before you go to bed? Or no?
Who?
The mage people who she said if you want to get word.
Yeah, I thought I said I told
What you
you.
playing,
Yeah,
the
okay.
juice harp?
I'm gonna tell them to go out and tell these 3.
They kind of look at you funny and are like,
Sorry.
what's the message?
You don't know what a juice
To
harp
come
is?
to the screaming, the boar inn.
Look it up.
I forgot the name of it.
The
Put it in
shrieking
your
boar.
mouth.
The
and
Shrieking
go ding,
Boar
ding,
Inn.
ding, ding, ding.
At 11:30, no later.
Harp?
Okay, I'm gonna sleep.
A Jew's harp.
We're on recording. Are you sure you want to keep doing this?
That's what the instrument is called. I'm not being anti-Semitic or anything.
Hey man, neither was PewDiePie.
God damn it. Alright.
Like, you
So-
adjust the tone of it by clenching down.
Meanwhile, where does she leave me?
As back in the throne room.
Meanwhile, no. You knocked over the tower.
Meanwhile,
You
back in
told
the
me to.
throne room, everyone seemingly filters out of the...
I don't believe you.
He was going like this. Is like I was like I wish because I was like I can't do this and not go rest
That's
out.
not a command.
Then he gestured and I was like.
It's not what I did, but thank you.
Everyone seemingly filters out of the room. The last one to leave is Elder Kernan, as he looks at
He
Lamia,
encouraged me.
and
You did the
Lamia
deed.
bends down,
I was encouraged.
allows him to kiss her, and then he says,
Like, are we talking full French or what?
no, it's a simple kiss on the lips, but he says, I'll see you shortly, my dear. And he walks off in what you would assume would be either his bedchamber or some other place.
That's a
And
really...
he waddled away.
I think that's a funny sight.
Till the very next day.
Seeing this, like, 5-foot man, like,
He's a 7-foot tall, like, black-haired elf.
She's gotta be
6.5 foot, black-haired, like almost like
The black hair
very,
just drapes
very
over his face.
colored Eladrin. So basically, she's not like the pastiest paste, but she's fairly pasty.
She's
He's
not mayonnaise.
He must be a magic man.
All right.
In bed.
Okay.
You know what they say about dwarves?
You are now.
They
cast
don't.
a spell on.
You are now alone with Lamia Sylwarin in the throne.
Is this a bad idea? I'm starting to get the sense that this might have been a bad idea. So I've asked her if you would prefer to talk somewhere other than the throne room, where we don't have to be like 40 feet apart from each other.
Oh, you don't have to be that far. Come, take the
Sit
seat
on
by
the
my
chair.
side.
Sit in the throne!
Sit on my throne.
See if you are worthy.
God damn. I just want to see if I can make my screen last longer.
You're what?
You're drinking an
What? Do you have an Android phone?
I do.
I have a phone charger.
No. I'm just saying, like, keep the screen on.
Oh.
Never mind. I'm just not gonna worry about it. Fuck it. All right.
Well, at least you don't have like
So,
a 20-digit password.
She offers to take you to the
18.
She offers to. She looks at you and says, "If you'd like to talk in a more private place,
Oh, I just
I can."
gestures up at throne where she is standing, gestures down to where I am. I think that this is not amenable to any sort of not clandestine, but like less than very loud conversation.
You see, she kind of waves her finger a bit and says, "Oh, silly me," and she steps down off the throne.
I'm a silly bitch.
And she gestures off down as she comes down, she gestures towards your right, her left, and says, "Let me take you to the library. We can discuss there more quietly."
Let me take you.
Before
the
we
left
leave the throne room, I quickly interrupt her and ask her, "You seem to be very adept at magic," and then I stomp on the seal, and I'm like, Did you pick up on that?
You see her smile a little bit, and she says, "Yes, obviously, as you might be able to tell, I'm not just here for him. But yes."
Looks over in the direction he was leaving, just as smugly says, "Clearly."
Although his dick is pretty large.
She does kind of smile, though, when you mention him, like, he's not a terrible person.
No.
He seems like a very nice man.
He seems like a very sweet penis.
God damn it. Alright, she leads
What is with you and the dick?
Alright, she leads you in
He
the
wants
direction
it.
of another set of double doors, and as she opens it, a vast
mainly the
He wants what he does
expanse,
not have.
a very
Mainly the
vast
artificial-
expanse
artificial
library
one of the
is ahead of you. Not as
Keeps
many
it
books
me
as the
dick.
Sanctum of Iyun,
Why?
but definitely a very impressive collection of books. The ceiling reaching maybe 50 feet in height, and 5 corridors branching off in a star-like direction.
So puts
each
the bar to
containing
shame.
books. Oh, yes.
I allow myself to be visibly impressed.
She
I like to think I'm well read, but man, if I did this.
doesn't read.
I
This
recently
is-
learned how to read, so if I can
this
read a public
obviously-
conspiracy-
Ha, he admits it.
We can get you some nice papa book.
This definitely is not as impressive as our Devordium, but it has some things from the past millennia that we have not received yet.
I imagine you don't have much on the events of our petty squabbles.
Not in recent years. That is why, again, another reason I was sent. You seem quite versed in our people's culture.
Not even remotely. I am a bard. I tell tales, and tales of Eladrin are ones that are older than anyone I have ever seen alive.
And she kind of giggles a little bit. She's like, yes, that could probably be true.
Except perhaps yourself.
Don't have the.
As you say that, she kind of like looks down and says, "Oh." she laughs a little bit harder and she says, "I am probably one of the oldest of my race."
I'm probably the oldest of my race.
Why is that funny? It's not the fact that happens, just the way you deliver it. I'm like, what? Who are you? What am I? What are these? What are those?
So,
Damn, Daniel!
So you had questions. I would probably assume that you would have at least read not even a quarter of the books in this library.
That's a good question. As a harper, how much access do I have to just literature for I literally work at a bar where my mission completion is returning a book. I imagine I'm incredibly well read.
You're well read, but the amount of books, like the Sanctum of Iyun had a lot more books than this place. But even like considering the Sanctum of Iyun, you've maybe read maybe the first couple of rows, and that's saying something.
Yeah, I mean maybe a fifth if I'm lucky. Now, if we're talking songs, that's a bit different. I've been through way too many of those, but books, you know.
So, what are you looking for?
To be honest, I am still somewhat mystified as to the exact nature of your intentions in your city.
My city.
I mean, of course, there are a great number of things I would like to learn about you and your people, but I feel it would be inappropriate to ask such things without knowing very much about yourself first.
Why, absolutely. And you can see her hair start turning a semi-fluorescent shade of green.
Yeah, that's good. Alright. Yep.
Her hair.
Green Lantern rules are in effect.
Her
Noted.
hair is in terms of mood.
Yeah, it's a mood ring. In
Wow.
fact, I think it almost directly scales with the mood ring colors.
Wow. I don't get the fire though.
What?
I don't get.
Red for anger.
No, it was blonde. Fear. Gotcha.
Or blonde for channeling the magic of the sun.
Well, if it works in terms of mood, yellow is fear.
It doesn't have to be exclusively mood. I mean, you know, fear. Again, Green Lantern ring. But like, green would be will, which doesn't quite translate, but like mood ring, whatever. Sorry, hair is turning green? Where was I writing that? Yeah.
Green is happiness.
And so I'm starting to ask, well, okay, how long have you been outside of your ancestral home?
What is it?
I would say probably it's been some time.
2 decades? 3?
Maybe 400 years.
Significantly longer than I've been
Where have you
alive.
been all this time?
Granted, yes, as I have said, and again, my
Pussy?
not my man.
My pussy?
Not necessarily
Our
betrothed,
chieftain.
but- Yes, our chieftain. Not necessarily. Where was I going with this? As our chieftain has also said, I
You've
guess
only been in Krakow for a certain period of time.
it's been very little.
Yeah.
Granted, I have read about maybe half of this library.
Damn. And how much time did that take?
Well, she
Goodness.
met
I have
The
enough free
chieftain
time on my
a
hands.
year ago.
It doesn't take long to
Started
read books
living
when you
there
know
8
actually how
months.
to read them.
Goodness, the number of languages you must know would be
Quite extensive.
make a mage blush.
Indeed.
Speaking of, do you cast from your? This might be a bit personal to ask, but do you cast from your blood or with some sort of vote? Are you a sorceress? To put it bluntly.
I'm not even sure if sorcery is even the correct term for
Because
it.
I'm also under the impression that I assume I understand a very rudimentary nature enough of pact magic to know that Fey pacts are a thing.
Yes.
And it was like, so I understand that some of the people who can commune with the Fey Wilds can make pacts with greater power, so perhaps that is...
I fucked many a Fey.
You could say I'm not straight up, but I'm exceedingly Fey.
Oh yes. I mean, like, I wouldn't even call it sorcery, more of an understanding of magic.
Oh shit. Do I... The Harpers, from what I've read up on, are very keen on the concept of the weave, from which all magic is derived and must be maintained.
Mm-hmm.
Is the implication that she can like read the weave?
Quite possibly.
Fucking
Which is
shite!
Which would put her at like slightly south of demigod tier status of magic caster, if that would be correct.
What about all those starving countries? What you doing about that?
Make a history check.
What?
Make a history check.
Jesus. Wow. 14?
You, from what you can recall of the tales, it seems that there is almost no limit on their knowledge, other than the fact that they cannot ascend only because people are unsure of how they have not ascended yet. But there have been a few wizards and people who have ascended at one point or another.
Are we talking like ascension to the astral plane or to godhood?
Essentially both. Some wizards and people who with a high enough level of magic
Can ascend to the astral plane.
Can ascend to the astral plane, but then again, also that is where the dead go. And the Githyanki.
What's the difference?
I don't know the Githyanki.
5e. They're pretty cool. They're like astral plane pirates.
That sounds rad as fuck.
They're really fucking cool. That's basically, they're adding the Eladrin and the Githyanki in the same thing, and that's why I wanted to learn more about it, because they're making...
That's almost certainly not how it's pronounced.
That is how they pronounce it. That is directly from
the mouth of Chris Perkins.
Yes.
You! Give Yankee!
Yeah. I always
Give
thought it was
my
Githyanki.
Yankee!
I always thought it was...
Yeah, as in like
I
the
know.
robots from Mass Effect.
I know.
I always thought it was the Githyanki, but it's not. It's the Githyanki.
You
So
can
I was
make
like,
it.
okay.
Your game, you could yonk it
It
up.
could be. Absolutely.
You can yonk it up.
But like, we only have about 20 minutes left, and in the
Yes.
interest of time, maybe it just makes more sense for me to like just send you as many questions as I can conceive of over Messenger over the next week.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
And just remember that the questions will be in character.
Yeah.
So just
I've done
keep
that
that
before.
Yeah. So just keep that in mind.
What
I'll be
the
replying as Lamia.
I mean, we could just do a whole session in both if this would
Yeah.
better suit you. All right. So maybe one or two more though.
Absolutely. She asked
Why? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, continue.
Then, have you come to Krakow simply because you've learned everything else from everywhere on the continent, or is it Stomp's Foot again, or something else entirely? What brings you to this corner?
To this corner specifically, well, I was sent here by Miyanka herself,
400 years ago.
our queen. 400 years ago, I was sent out to gather the information for our divordium. However, I received another urgent message that, due to the lack of our race, that we should start seeking other options.
Options for
possibly expanding our numbers. I'm not quite sure her message. And she goes on to say, it was more like I'm not even exactly sure why. It seems the way things are working, she wants me to be engaged to this chieftain of Krakow. And then when he eventually dies, I would take his place as queen. Though then again, I could be wrong, in that she just wants the access of the ley lines.
I was going to suggest that there have been, of course I can't confirm as I'm not in the major circles, but some potterings that the ley lines have been effective ways to make gateways.
Well, they are certainly more powerful than we can even imagine.
Which would suggest a bridge to the Fey would potentially be possible, or to 9 hells for someone as nefarious as would desire.
Absolutely. The only problem with that is that the ley lines continue to move. All that except the one over Elios Dam. That one seems to be the central point.
Is that news to the... That's news, right? Spell it, please. I'm sorry.
Hold on. I have it here. Elios Dawn is ELYYOS -DAAN.
Which is an elfish? Oh, the elvish.
That is the Eladrin city that they have been, that they seemingly come from.
That nobody knows where it is.
They know, you guys know exactly, like anyone, it's depicted on a map, just no one has been able to go there.
Yeah,
because it is either effectively guarded or sealed away in some sort of a way that unless...
But they've been moving in a way that has been predictable, no?
The Eladrin.
The ley lines.
The ley lines? The ley lines have always
They move at like a certain rate over time, and it's very...
Yes. Over, I'd say, I can't remember how long I said it took, but it was
you were like 1,000 feet a year, is what you said, I think?
I think it's like every 1,000 years. It's similar to the, think of like the polarities of Earth. Every 1,000 or so years they shift.
But they've been moving, so on predictable intervals, but not in predictable ways?
Yes. They go over the same places roughly at an exact increment of time every single some odd number of years. And I'll give you the exact specifics.
Spoiler alert, she's been there since the dawn of time, and this is her favorite place to where it comes.
No, this is like, I haven't gotten fooled around with it a few centuries. Oh, hey. Kill his wife. Nice.
But is there anything else?
Oh, a mountain of other things, but we're talking about it.
Oh, yes.
I flagged down the server and was like, perhaps we should get tea. This might take a while.
And she says, well, we don't even need that. And she kind of whisks her fingers. And you see an entire elaborate tea set and even chairs mold out of the ground. And she says, sit, get comfortable.
Even a tea table.
And there's elegant cushions that then suddenly appear on these stone chairs. And says, we might be here a while. And she sits down.
I need it.
All right.
I don't need it.
Leshanna.
Yep.
I don't need it.
You're traveling around at the speed of sound, looking for info.
Yeah. I'm just like wandering around, like looking around, seeing what I can find.
Wandering around.
So-
Roll an investigation.
around. See what I find.
I see nothing.
I see nothing.
You know nothing.
You got a
Jon
roll a percentage dice.
Do you go blind again? Oh my god, that would be...
In the dark, too.
68.
Okay.
We're rolling higher.
There are a couple of people that kind of point you in the complete opposite direction of the places you're looking to go,
and then
Very small children. That's what happened.
Yeah, they're all small children. It eventually gets to the point where you say,
Wearing large, thick
you start
trench
heading
coats to
back
hide their
towards the
body
keep.
or something.
You start heading back towards the keep, but
No,
then
they
you,
all have,
after an hour and a
I'm
half,
thinking
you
Oliver Twist style pickpockets.
pick up a note.
One of them didn't have an arm. They
There's
had a
an
stick.
odd note that seemingly
They said it was
appears in front of
prosthetic?
you, and it's like,
A prosthetic.
what?
A prosthetic.
On it, it says, this is from Jack. Hey guys, we should all meet back at the tavern in 2.5, at 11:30. I'm waiting here, sleeping behind the bar, so we can possibly all gang up on this flying motherfucker. 11:30, Shrieking Boar, be there, and then that is the end of the
Be there!
If it's within my options, I will probably sleep at the palace. If it gets to that point and things are still being hit off, yeah.
Dude, just an
I have no intention of immediately chasing up on this orb thing or reporting back. I'm gonna make the Watchers sweat it out for what the fuck they did to me.
Just an exclusive investigation with
So,
Leshanna and
I need to
Jack.
investigate elfin biology. There's so much we don't know!
if you want immediately afterwards, we can talk.
We
right
have
outside.
2 hours, we can just sit there, yeah.
Yeah, we've done that before. We've talked until 1 in the morning, just fucking around hey, yeah, this is D&D.
The listeners at home don't need to know our intimate details.
God damn, I'm the Eladrin.
Can I do another investigation check just since
Absolutely. And then
Can I?
Natural 20.
Oh, I was about to give you inspiration, but damn, you crit.
you'd have to be there to give her inspiration. It's
I can't
Be there!
It's within 60 feet people can get inspiration. And you can give it to one person in combat for a bonus action.
Well,
Or just as a group, you could be like, oh, hey guys, I'm going to spend all my inspiration die to give everyone this inspiration for, I think it's up to an hour.
Wait, I thought you said I couldn't give people inspiration until 2nd level. What, I can give people bardic inspiration? I thought I can't give people advantage?
The way that your
Five is
bard
weird.
works, I know.
Bard is apparently broken, but I don't know how yet.
Oh my god, why am I confused? I've played a bard, now you're making me question myself.
Alright, I have a number of inspiration points based off my charisma modifier,
Yes.
which represent themselves as D6 dice that I can add on other people's rolls per day or per long rest.
Per short rest.
No,
you get
it said explicitly I don't get them back after a short rest is long. I'm fairly certain. I have it written down as first long rest.
Okay. Then it would probably be long rest. I know much higher. I
Short
think
rest
it is
would be
short rest.
cheap.
No, I think much higher levels it is short rest because I've seen that happen. So we'll talk about that afterwards. So natural 20. You eventually.
You know shit.
Okay.
You know who knows shit.
You are heading back. You are actually heading in the direction of the Shrieking Boar. And in doing so, you actually come across a darkened alley that appears to be a dead end with some sort of
Green
things. I
light.
know, he's dead. It's fine. With some sort of shifty figures at the end. Yeah, it's you. At the end of this, you can't make them out, but they appear to be very small. There seems to be about 3 or 4.
There seems to be a strand of hay lying on one's shoulder.
Can I do try to figure out what they are? Walk down the
Roll another
alley.
She has
investigation check.
excellent vision in the dark.
Yes, in the darkness.
Oh. You were just looking at me with your stupid faces and said, there seems to be a strand of hay on one shoulder. I was like, what? What? Nani?
Good.
14.
14.
Nani kore?
Looking around, you can see that there are bits of straw, bits of straw strewn all over the ground, here and there. They seemingly look like they're huddling in a circle. Have you seen I Am Legend?
Yes.
Do you remember the scene when they go into the building and they're all
Yeah.
the pale people are huddled in a circle?
Yeah.
That's basically what it looks like. There are 4 small beans.
Well, that's less than
Haley-
entirely
beans. Small beans
Human beings.
with straw strewn about the entire alley, and they're
Fucking
all
spooky.
huddled in a corner, shaking slightly.
Wait.
So, can I look around, mark where I am, like where on the map would that be?
Oh, absolutely. You are. I'd say you traveled for you were traveling the opposite directions. You were near the Sanctum of Ioun. Then you traveled towards the Shrieking Boar. You see where the only bridge that is facing directly straight. It's like almost in the direct middle of the
Yes.
map. It's directly under the A in Hall. Yes, I know. Oh, I know. We'll probably end it there.
With her getting scared.
Getting spooked either if we're starting initiative or depending on what she does.
Scared.
Nani?
Scared like a crow because she's black.
Nani?
I wasn't gonna take it there, but like, damn. Like scared like an elf?
Yeah.
Because she's.
Because ravens and crows are
Oh,
have black
like
feathers.
there's also the Jim Crow implication, and that's
and
not.
Jim Crow. No,
Can-
no, we're not making
I
it
have one
racist.
question.
this
Can
way.
I barred, like,
This
barricade
episode
the
is just entirely
alley?
racist. I feel so terrible.
Can I barricade the alley so the children can't, like, what I
What
was
do you have on you?
I have,
Fire?
You see multiple
Fire
barrels
or-
around the street.
something that I can barred. I
Luckily,
have
you're on
hempen
Market
rope.
Street, and there seems to be a lot of.
Wait, is this
places.
because she crit?
Yes.
She gets like the drop on them?
You. Technically, yes.
Nani?
You know their exact location. You're on the southern side, almost directly at that bridge.
Do you have the ability to start a fire?
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe
I
start a
have
fire and then
a
bail?
tinderbox.
No,
I don't want to kill them. I want to try to bring them back.
Well, they're not gonna walk into the
Are you
fire
a cleric?
willingly. No,
Are you a cleric?
no.
No,
And it's not gonna work.
Our only cleric is not here.
I
Yeah.
know.
And I'm pretty sure he doesn't even get that power until maybe
Fucking-
he gets second or third.
But
level
is there like a
spells.
potion we can do?
Find something.
Yeah, you
wooden.
got the money for it? I mean, she actually might.
Find something
Possible,
Well, like
wooden.
a potion of
Set
revivify?
a fire
That'd
at the
be
entrance
something
of
I'd
the
have to look up in
alleyway.
the DMG.
Get
Is there-
the guards and
Just
say,
because
"Hey,
potions are a thing. but-
Scarecrow kids are in that alleyway.
Well, look-
I've tracked them using
Wand of
fire."
revivify? Is that...
I don't think that's a thing.
I
I think there's a rod of revivification. Or
It's
something
I
like
think
that, but
is this
Those
like
are
their?
expensive
Can I
enough.
tell if this is like their where they all go to every single night?
Is there a
roll
lot?
an investigation check.
17.
It seems the amount of straw that is there, that's probably where they're chilling.
Fucking just like
She's hideout.
she's walking by, looks into an alleyway, sees the straw children, keeps walking.
Just keeps
Mental note.
Leshanna will remember that.
Remembered later.
Is there anything you'd like to do?
Walk away.
Is there?
Construct a literal straw man fallacy.
Walk up to them, teaching them a lesson
to give
because
you
they're
a
children.
rough estimate of the size of the alley,
You
it's
know
probably
you're not
15
supposed
feet
to be in an alleyway.
in a diameter.
You know what you could do? You could tell the guards.
I literally
Yeah, but
just
they might kill him.
Yeah, but not telling them anything leads more people to be murdered. So, like, you know, maybe you should tell them.
or
Like tell the guards
or
just to
if she
barricade
tells
that
the guards,
alleyway.
the guards could get murdered, and then they would be like, "Shit, our place has been found."
If the guards get murdered, our job's secure.
That's a fucking sick way to look at it.
She's chaotic neutral. That's how she would think about it.
Well,
Good.
that's up to
Chaotic
your character.
Nani?
What would you like to do? We have 6 minutes. Well, technically less, but we have
I-
6
You have 6 minutes and Roman.
I
so,
wanna
like,
tell
you know,
Yes.
be careful.
I want to find the closest three, 4
Unless
guards
something's going on.
Roleplay
to
with
barricade the
What?
alleyway so
Roleplay.
no one can enter or leave.
Alright. by this time, it would probably be around 10:30 at night.
That's all I'm
So
gonna
you find three or let me roll.
Is the alley
You find about you find two guards.
Is the alley evidently covered from sunlight? So like at midday, if they were standing there, would they be in light or not?
Depending on the angle from the moon to the
Well, no,
sun,
do you
I'd
want-
say the ocean
Do
is
you want to
red.
make a nature check about that?
Sure.
Alright.
I know it's a bit meta, but like the question is, did they operate under vampire rules? Is that why they're huddling in a shaded alley?
15.
Like midday?
They're just
Looking
like
up, there are
They're literally made of straw.
The
If they're
bridge-
unholy straw,
the
creatures,
bridge
they could light on
itself
fire.
is like, think of a very, very, think London Bridge except condensed down
and also not falling down.
and
It's
not
fallen
falling.
short.
Yeah, I have a picture on here. I can show
Because it's
you.
a dwarf
after.
town.
I can show you after. It's actually like I had all this shit planned out with like pictures and stuff. So I can show you guys everything after, and I'll send it to the group chat stuff that I am allowed to send you. There
You're
is a
literally
very-
God. You can send what you want.
Oh yeah, I know. They're large enough to block out the sun, as well as the way the alley is set up. Yes, it's not necessarily in direct sunlight, but there are eaves and things that would be keeping it hidden from the sun.
Okay. So it is like basically the perfect place for them to stay. During
You don't
the day.
really
I
know
think
much
any
about scarecrows, but they
From what I
seemingly...
can
The fuck's a
tell is that they
scarecrow?
wouldn't be coming out in the day because else everyone would be panicking and wouldn't come out in the daytime.
Mhm.
So
So
they seem to be hiding from daylight and water.
I feel like they don't
Well,
really.
they're near water. Like, they're right by the river.
I feel like they would like water
Daylight
because that would make them
then
damp.
perhaps. I don't know. It's just light sensitivity on undead is not uncommon, so especially as at night, you would be able to potentially glean that. Drow night.
The Drow Knight, which also has sunlight sensitivity.
Fight me in my element! Wait, no! It's your element too!
It's pretty much.
We're
Is there
even.
anything else you'd like to do? You have two guards
Or
at your
even.
disposal, essentially.
Our fight actually pertains to skill.
I would like to go back to the Shrieking Boar and gather everyone and tell them what I found.
The only people with the Shrieking Boar are your sleeping friends.
Yeah, are they
And a
guarding?
bunch of civilians.
Yes, they're guarding.
Okay. So are they guarding it or barricading?
Both. They're
Alright.
barricading. They're barricading.
First things first, a persuasion check to see if she can convince the guards to follow her suggested course of action.
You rolled on paper.
Not trying to GM for you, but like, come on.
21. Actually, roll onto paper.
21.
Motherfucker.
They seem
That's what I said.
more or less inclined as you're a drow. They're like, they're trying to like walk away, and you're like, no. There's like scarecrow bitches, and as soon as you
It's
see
not like we've
scarecrow
been given
bitches,
written
like,
curfew permits from the king to do this work, right?
yes, you guys have all been. You should write that down. in
You
your pages
have-
where you all have permits.
You have a thing that you could show
So-
any god to prove your legitimacy among the court. Bitch!
So, crack on perfume permit.
Yes,
I was
and
like,
it is
that's-
basically the time. It's 30 minutes after you should be inside.
Croquet perm.
Croquet.
Okay, so I show
Okay.
them. They asked about the permit. I show them that I'm doing the
Well, they're,
investigation.
Bitches
they,
up
look
on
like, they
it.
look like they're going to start taking you somewhere else, and as you show them the permit, they're like,
Shit!
"Oh, okay. What's
Should have
up?"
led with that.
And then immediately, like, as you're describing, like, "Oh, there's scarecrows and shit down there," they kind of like look down and like, "Ah, these motherfuckers." And they're like, "All right, what he wants to do."
There's barricade. We will take care of it, and when later on tonight, after we figure out what the hell's happening, they want to see what they would do at midnight. Because if they start coming at us, we
They'll
will try to
probably
kill
destroy whatever you put to block them.
Yeah, they're literally the undead.
them. I know.
Okay.
This is a
So
dumb
you
move,
want them to
but he is very
barricade it
strong,
and
so I
guard
don't
it.
know.
You could probably
Yes.
go like,
Okay.
we shouldn't do
If they
anything
start coming
about
at
it
you, I give you permission
but
to.
when we're fully
attack.
prepared,
But if they're
They
still
didn't need your
huddling in
permission.
the corner, do not do anything. If there's a chance to bring them back.
They say to you, because you're not our commander, we won't attack them if they don't attack us. However, if they start attacking us...
Yeah, I completely understand that. If they start attacking you, it's your survival. You definitely have every right to attack
No,
back.
they say, no, we're running.
Why would you...
You'd think
These things have been
somebody
terrifying the city for 6 months. They haven't been able to kill all of them. Finding a nest of them is like, oh shit, big. Like,
tell the king, oh shit, bitch. Like, get that sweet cash money, oh shit, bitch.
And don't ruin the fact that they know that they think they're hidden.
With a barricade.
Oh, true.
You know, because if they go like, oh shit, somebody found our place, time to move camp.
So, I know this is a lot of meta, but if I had to make a suggestion, they're under a bridge. Why not station a handful of night shift guards on top of the bridge with tar and pitch in case they start moving, and the moment they do, you light them the fuck on fire?
Can I suggest that to the guys?
And how would Leshanna say that?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yes.
how about instead, if you guys are completely terrified of these damn things, since they're underneath the bridge,
We have time. This is last.
go over the bridge and just have tar and fire, and if they start moving, light them on fire and run away. If not, just stay there and stay quiet and just be night sentries throughout the night.
Night sentries throughout the night.
Night sentries
Or, like,
throughout the
night.
night.
If you're not willing to do that, then find whoever's breaking curfew and make them do that as punishment.
Alright. They say they're going to go inform the other city guards and get something prepared in case they do actually start going in the direction of the bridge. And you go off then to the tavern, correct?
Okay, yes.
Okay. And then Roman, I'll talk to you out there. We'll fill people in on that.
I mean, his encounter was a roleplay situation with bitch. That's about it.
Don't worry, there's also Uth. Oh man.
Hey, you wanna cap off the recording?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Alright, you
No, would you like to say something which punctuates the end of the recording?
Yes.
And that's all, folks.
Hey. Next time we'll tell you about what the fuck I do. Man, what a cliffhanger. Dude, we might even actually fight the Chieftain next time. Nobody knows. I'm a fucking
There might be-
magical fucker.
There might be 2 actual
Shit.
combat encounters next session.
Wow. Our first
Next time!